Salvete omnes, salvete amici, nomen mihi est Decimus Aurelius Ingeniarius legatus propraetori Australiae et tribunus plebis. Good evening, everybody. Hello, good morning, wherever you are watching us from the world. Welcome to the Roman Twitch channel, right here on the Twitch platform, brought to you by Nova Roma. I am Decimus Aurelius, and you are watching the Republic of Rome board game broadcast for 2021 or 2774 AUC. It's absolutely spectacular to be back. We've had a little bit of a break from session 11, now doing session 12 this evening. We're going to have one less player for the duration of the game, as another player was unable to play anymore due to all sorts of other circumstances. So we're down to 5, but that will create some interesting dynamics for the remainder of our senators and factions in our republic here, and we'll see one or two minor changes in the rules as a result of only having 5 players. So it should be interesting. So where did we leave ourselves at the end of session 11 as we now come into session 12? So we finished up at the end of the forum phase as we normally do. So we'll start off with the population phase this evening. And we saw the disaster of the Second Punic War, which is a bit of a hit for our Senate. So we'll get to see how they deal with that going forwards this evening. One of the major rule changes now that we'll see as a result of only having 5 players is there will be a bid for initiative in the forum phase. So the players will each take in turn their initiative as they normally would, and then at the end there's still that 6th initiative that still needs to occur. And what will happen is the factions, starting with the HRAO, will get to bid on who has the privilege of taking that final 6th initiative, with the final bid coming from a single personal treasury of a senator. So no doubt the factions will be thinking about that as they go forwards through the rounds and then eventually back to the forum phase as to whether they really want to take on a second initiative or not. Well, looking forward to it now. Let's not delay any further. We're now going to cross into the Roll20 virtual tabletop environment. So we're going to take a brief pause while we transition cameras and equipment across. So don't go away. We'll be back very shortly. All right, here we are. We are back in the Roll20 virtual tabletop environment. We're looking at our game board again. It's brilliant to see everyone's faces. Let's do our normal microphone test to make sure that we can hear everybody. So all my senators to my virtual left there, give us a big wave and a salvete to our chat.
Salvete.
Good. I'm seeing lots of green and yellow audios, so that's a good mark. Very happy about that. Thanks to Unknown Star for subscribing again. Great to have you back. I think it's your 4th now, 4th month, so that's awesome. Good on you for supporting the channel. Right, we are now, as expected, about to start the population phase. We know how this works, and particularly after the good-hearted discussion last time. So let's go through and calculate our new adjusted state unrest level. Now, who is our highest ranking available officer at the moment?
I think it's in my faction, and it is...
Yes, I see it is Plautius,
yes.
The Rome consul. Very good. Now,
Yes.
as HRAO, would you like to talk us through what we need to do to update our unrest level?
Oh...
If you can't remember, it's on your cheat sheet at the very top of the population phase box.
Okay, so +1 for every drought.
All right.
Is the first
so
thing.
let's have a look to see if we've got any droughts on the board. We've got no event droughts, so that's a good start. But what we do need to check is if there's any drought effects from wars. So I'm scrolling the view. We're going to have a look in our inactive wars box first in case there's anything there, which there isn't. Which is a good start. So let's now scroll up to our active wars.
Sicilian pirates create drought.
Correct.
Yes.
We see that the first Sicilian pirates has a drought effect. So there is one that we've got to take into account. All right, and what else do we need to take into account for unrest level there, Console?
We also need to look at unprosecuted wars.
All right, so we're happy that we were able to prosecute the Second Punic War, and even though that was a disaster, we still had the requisite number of fleets remaining, which is really good. The First Macedonian War has only just come up, so that's why it's not in the unprosecuted wars box. So it's not yet to be unprosecuted, but obviously the First Sicilian Pirates itself is unprosecuted, so that'll be a second modifier, or I guess a +2 to the unrest level. Is there anything else we need to take into account?
Check the result in the population table. 3d6.
So that'll be for the next
the
step,
state
which
of
is the
the
state of the
Republic. No, that's
Republic.
it.
So let's just adjust our state unrest level. And I see somebody's already doing that. So I think we're on 1 and we're adding +2. Is that correct?
Yes, we are now at 3.
Very good. So we are now at
That's
a state
right.
unrest level of 3. And that will obviously come into our modifiers when we do our State of the Republic address. So I'm now going to modify our view down to the state of, or this way, State of the Republic roll table, and we'll then go back to the console for their speech, and then we'll have them roll their 3d6, and we'll take into account population and modifiers and see how the people of Rome are feeling. So over to you, console.
Thank you, everybody, for returning after a long break, extended break that we've all had. I feel that it has been an excellent time to clear our heads and to move forward and to look to the future. We are doing all right in terms of the wars. We have Cornelius out there. Although we do still have some unprosecuted wars, and it looks like more to come. I look forward to the next phase.
Yeah.
Right. Very good. Okay, so let's do our initial sum. So as the HRAO, noting that the old dictator and the proconsul is out of Rome, what is the popularity of our Rome consul there?
I've just got to zoom in.
Yep.
I think it might be... No, it might be 0.
I can double check for you as well. So I'll zoom in and confirm. So it's sorry, which senator is it?
Plautius is the Rome
Plautius.
consul.
Yes, popularity of 0 right now. So we're not going to see any advantages because of his popularity. That's not necessarily a bad thing. So we'll see a +0, and we're going to see a -3 because of the unrest level of the effect there. So if we're all happy, go ahead, Rome console. Let's roll your 3d6, and we're going to -3 from that result and see what happens. So we get 11, 10, 9, 8. So we get an 8. So we're going to see a further +3 to the unrest level. Does everybody agree?
Agreed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, excellent from a maths point of view, but not so much from an unrest level point of view. So the same person that adjusted it before, if you'd like to update the unrest level again to go from 3 to 6. So there is a growing unrest amongst the populace. Not ideal, but certainly not unmanageable. I think we've certainly seen worse from a Rome perspective. Okay, we're in the Senate phase. That's commencing here. Well, it commenced with that roll technically, but yeah. So Rome consul, it's your Senate to carry on.
Okay, so first point of call is the election of consuls. So I am going to put forward, I'm just confirming, it is possible that we may be electing a dictator. That's correct?
You are eligible.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. When does the Punic War age out? Is it 7? 7's down over?
It is 6.
6.
So at the end of the combat phase, if any war is of age 6 at the end of a combat phase, then that will be a loss for all players at that point.
So that would be next turn for us, correct?
Correct. So you're good this turn. So if it's still there at the end of this combat phase, that's fine. Then you'll go to another combat phase, probably after that, where you'll look to attack it again. And if you fail to defeat it in that instance, then that will result in the loss of all players at that point.
Yep, so we've got 2 more cracks at it. So based on the assumption that we're going to go after it this turn, which may not be the right assumption, but let's assume we do.
That's probably good to have us turn up our sleeve.
We don't have a manpower shortage. It would be best.
Yeah.
We have a token in place.
Yeah, you got a manpower shortage right now.
Yeah, we do.
Yep, right next to your state
right.
treasury.
So we're going to need a dictator and master of horse to take it on this turn, certainly. Or the other option is we leave it, which seems risky to me, but is an option.
Yeah, me too. I would agree with us taking on a dictator as well. The only thing is that where are we as well too? Okay. So in terms of dictator as well too, who do we have as options? Because it has to be prior. I think we've got Flaminius.
A dictator can be any aligned
Anyone?
senator in Rome. There's no other prerequisites.
It's only the
Censor is the only prerequisite.
censor's the only one with the prerequisite. Okay.
I mean,
I,
unless you count in not being in the office beforehand.
I think we
Yep.
should also just consider, just with Flaminius,
Mhm.
simply next turn, we've already got the 6 unrest, and he's got -9 popularity, which is going to get
Flaminius
the
is not an option, trust me. I am well aware of this myself.
Yeah.
So Aurelius is the better option.
Aurelius is the only option in my faction because
Yeah.
he has a +4 as well, which I think we should all go for +4s this time instead of a possible +3.
I don't think Cornelius is an option.
and I think it's
because
best option overall.
because I don't think he'll be able to return to Rome before either Dictator or Master of Horse is up for selection. So I think Cornelius is out of play.
He is out of play because we cannot recall him before.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and
So my vote will be for Aurelius, put it that way.
for dictator. And Master of Horse doesn't matter quite as much.
We do have a level 4 in the Erudite faction that has
Yeah.
But quite high,
popularity 9.
quite high on the influence, and that's usually death sentence for for whomever.
But also
Yeah.
close to
There
retire.
could be a way around this if we, have
Yeah,
a
there-
card that's played.
Yeah, I mean the the question is that if they're gonna stick around to use that influence if we lose the war. I mean it depends if the 1 point is going to make the difference. I'm not sure. It depends on the math, I guess. But we've just been failing because of the rolls, not because of the the
planning.
our numbers. Yeah, so. I mean,
That's true, but now we're into the territory of losing on the rolls as well. So
look, I'm happy with Julius if that's what we need to do. I'm happy with.
The Julius option was mainly just for the unrest. The unrest level is probably still manageable in its consideration. Just wanted to point it out that it was an option and for something to be considered.
What's the boost? Is it +7?
It is +7.
Yeah.
But we don't have a law card played, which means they can't do anything, and good luck them. We have to vote them.
Yeah. The other thing too is if we do end up winning the war, that dictator would get a big popularity boost as well. So it kind of sorts itself out.
Popularity and influence.
Yeah, so maybe not best with Julius.
Assassination is always
Horse.
an option, I'm saying.
I think Aurelius is the best option.
Yeah. And what about Master of Horse?
Probably
That's
any
less important. But
military strength.
Well, I think it would
Yeah.
be best if we focus on the consoles because
Console.
they're the ones who actually.
yeah, I agree with
decide.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
while you decide, I'm gonna have some chicken wings.
yeah, I'm having chicken as well. Chicken all around.
Well, I've got some low influence senators. I'm happy to put one forward for
Hmm.
a console role.
Yeah, I was going to say, old Junius here at the pre-Bosnian faction, he's been reliable, as my faction always has been. So
Hmm.
we're happy to step up to the state's requirements.
Okay. Oh, where are we? Dun, dun, dun. Okay,
So I'll
we
put forward,
have
I'll put forward Manlius from
Mhm.
my faction.
Manlius. Okay. We also have Junius from Justita Marita. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put forward as a vote for the consoles.
Who's the nominating senator?
I'm
The current Rome consul, which is Plautius,
current Rome
ID
consul,
17.
Claudius. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to put forward Junius and also Manlius for consul and field consul. I'm going to call for votes from the pre-Byzantium faction.
That's a whopping 2 votes in favour.
There we go. I'm going to call on the House of Incognita.
Not any better. 5 votes in favor.
Mhm. Next, we're going to go down to Justita Marita.
With 50% more voting power than the pre-Byzantine faction, I'll place forward my 3 votes.
Yep. And Fortuna's Despair.
I can't really afford to make a joke. 12 votes in favour.
So I see who the target is.
Mightn't be funny. And I'll put 12 votes for.
I think we're out of luck since
So-
Lee had so much voting power.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's a total of 34 in favour. It's unanimous.
All right.
So, can I ask that before we step on, make sure everything's sorted? The old consoles are going to get their prior console markers. So Plautius has already got one, so he's good. Now, in a strange piece here, Aurelius, who's now an unaligned senator, he's actually going to get his prior console marker. That may make him more desirable as a persuasion target later on, but I'll award him as an old field consul to get his as well. And I just want to double check that our pro-consul Cornelius, he did in fact get his prior consul when he became pro-consul. So Cornelius, did you get your prior consul marker? Yes, you do.
Yes.
You've got it. Good.
Tiberius. Sorry, I thought you were done.
Sorry, I just wanted to double check that everyone got their prior console markers. Cool. Now the new consoles can of course now have their discussion about who's going to be who.
I'll just say publicly, Tiberius, you've got the more military. So if you're happy to do the field console, then just in case, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Okay, cool. I know Lee's got the
Okay,
plaque in his section.
All right. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce the Rome console for the new year as Junius.
Thank you. My factions are crawling back up. Unfortunately, it doesn't give me any more votes, but I'll just have to live with that. Now, since we've got to come to an agreement over the dictatorship, I'm happy with appointing Emilius from House of Incognita. If you're in agreement, Tiberius, then it's a simple decision.
What about
Yes,
Master
I'm
of
happy with that.
Horse?
Well, the dictator does that,
Okay. Yep.
but
That's right.
I'm sure they will choose wisely,
Mhm.
lest they be executed. Not
right.
by me.
So,
Okay.
while the sounds like the dictator's been appointed then, so I just want to double check. Tiberius Cornelius, your new field consul, got his influence?
Not yet.
All right, make sure you Manlius gets
Yeah.
his new influence. That'll be good. +5 for
Just
Manlius.
busy scribing at the moment.
Yes, yeah, fair call. And I think I saw some numbers flying around up at pre-Byzantium, so I'm assuming Junius got his.
Yep.
Good. All right, and of course, Quintus Octavius Gergus. I think with Emilius as dictator, I'm happy for you to
Gotta
go grab
grab
his
Clock.
markers and then give him the new 7 influence boost that he gains from that appointment.
He needs it. He died recently. Well, his father did.
All right, good. So you're going to take a moment to update his influence and collect your thoughts and perhaps give consideration too about who your Magister Requitus or your Master of Horse will be.
It is quite a tough choice. I mean, we don't have many options, really.
Oh, Emilius is a young'un. He's only aged 1, I see. Yeah, very good. A nice young dictator.
Yeah, really young.
Well, that's good. It means he can leave Rome, so that's a good start.
You don't know. That's why I'm looking at everyone's markers.
That's all right. Take your time.
Julius seems to be the only option with a 4 military rating.
We could take Flaminius.
I mean, I could. But, that's kind of, self-indulgent and, we've had some experiences of that in our own faction.
Look, I think I might speak for everyone that I wouldn't mind that. I'm not going to turn hostile at such a choice.
No, I mean, that'd be fine. It's up to you.
Master of Horse, what's their gain again? Influence, isn't it? 4
They'll
or
gain
3?
3 influence from the appointment, but other than that, they don't get any other privileges.
Yeah, we'll go with Flaminius. He has the less influence out of the 2.
Okay. Very good. I think the Master of Horse token's down in the center there, so I'm happy for you to grab that now and assign that to Flaminius as your new Master of Horse for this next campaign season.
I'll drag it over for you.
Oh, there you go. And don't forget to award Flaminius another 3 influence points there. What's that, 11 now for him? That's very good.
That is correct.
Good, I see the Dictator got his influence. Excellent.
Oh, that means I've got to run this.
Right, it does. You are now the Presiding Magistrate, so if you'd like to take the Presiding Magistrate marker from the Erudite faction and place that in your own, yes, you are now the Presiding Magistrate for this Senate session. You'll be able to continue on.
Yep. Make room for the markers. Alright, so what's the next thing? It'd be Censor. There's really not many options.
Our long-term censor, Sulpicius, is now an unaligned senator, so it won't be able to go back to him.
Margot Furious as a prior consul would be happy to do it.
He does appear to be an eligible candidate with a prior consul marker.
See, I would be willing to say your faction, but, for the past 2 turns, you've taken 2 of my senators, so I'm taking all of you out of consideration.
Hey, hang on, you've had the knives out as well. Before you...
There's no proof of this.
I just invited somebody to come, you murdered somebody.
There's no proof.
These things are not equivalent.
There is no proof. If I didn't get caught, no one saw, no proof.
Yeah, that's true.
Who else is eligible? Let's look around. Quinticus from the Justia Marita is also an eligible censor candidate, I see, with a prior consul marker. Unfortunately, Unius is unable to take up the post because he is Rome consul there. We do see Platius is eligible with a prior consul marker in the Erudite faction. So really, you've got the choice of 3. So you've got Furious, Quinticus, and Platius.
Let's see.
Choices, decisions.
Very much so.
I mean, don't forget, you can make some political deals if you're not 100% comfortable with any of those options. Certainly, you might be able to try and get some assurances for yourself out of the potential proposal that you may or may not make shortly.
Everyone but the Senator Tiberius.
I wish I could help you, but I'm uneligible in my faction, so apologies.
I feel bad for Justia Marita after, ruining my undeath streak of wars, so I'll let them have Quinticus as a censor. And you guys can please vote on this as how you would perceive.
Marco, you're on mute there. Marco Wedia.
Sorry, I just
Which
missed
is the
that.
number of the...
What did you say, Quintus?
Quinticus from the Justia Marita faction.
Okay, for censor.
Yes. This requires a vote.
What's
So,
the 20s?
Oh, I thought as dictator you just...
No, it requires a vote. I'm deciding who to start with.
Good. I like that you're considering that and giving that some thought. That's very good.
What number is Quintius?
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good record keeping.
We'll,
That's excellent.
we'll have Fortuna's despair with your votes, please.
Can I use my Pontifex Maximus
Nope.
veto here?
I am dictator.
Unfortunately
Yes.
not. That's right. You cannot veto a dictator's
Alright.
proposal.
I
I'll
can
put
only
12
do that
votes
as we've
against.
experienced.
But right, you can vote against, as you have done. There you go. 12 votes against. There you go.
Marcus Decimus from the Justia Marita faction.
I shall place my 3 votes for the proposal.
The Deity faction.
Oh. "12 votes for."
A Pretty Byzantium.
Can I veto this with a tribute?
Unfortunately not, because he's a dictator.
Yeah, 2 votes against.
I'll put my 5 votes for.
So votes for tally to 20, and votes against to 14. So the motion is carried.
There we go. Motion is carried. So what was that? Is it Quinticus is a new censor? Is that correct?
Yes, that is.
Yes.
All right. I think you'll find the censor plaque in the House of Julii, and I think you found the purple marker. So take a brief moment to add some influence to Quinticus there, another 5 influence for his tally, and that'll perhaps give you a moment to consider your next actions as well as to what combination, if any, of prosecutions you may wish to undertake this term.
All right. I am going to do 2 minor prosecutions this turn. Firstly, I hold Sulpicius of an unaligned senator up for a minor prosecution.
Let's take a brief pause if
Just
we
a
can.
quick question.
So this is unprecedented, and I don't know whether you can actually prosecute an unaligned senator. But let's go to our rule books and let's see if
I'm
there's
also
anything
not sure
specific
if we
about
removed
this.
our tokens.
What's that, sorry?
Did we remove the tokens from previous round?
No, we haven't finished the census session yet, so the census presiding
Census
now.
session. Yep.
So what I'm just looking for now is, and everybody else who'd like to can join me, so we're going to open our Valley Games rulebook here. I'm going to go to the segment on the Senate phase, which is from 1.09, and we're going to go to the prosecutions section in there. So
1.09.412, eligibility for minor prosecutions. A senator with a corrupt marker, a major marker, or the corruption portion of a concession revealed is eligible for a minor prosecution. It doesn't state anything about being required to be within a faction.
this is true. Certainly, there is nothing, at least in the rules, that specifies that they can't be prosecuted. And I guess this is unusual because normally you wouldn't have an unaligned senator that has a corruption or let alone concessions in this form. What does it mean if they are successfully prosecuted? I guess it means that, you know, they will lose their concessions and they will lose the influence, etc. But otherwise, they don't have a faction to back them up and or vote against the proposal. Look, let's play this through. I think I'm going to allow this from a game facilitation point of view.
Just a quick question, I guess, then. So obviously they don't have a defendant, or I can't remember what the word is, advocate, right?
So,
but if any of us choose to fill that position voluntarily, then aren't we risking influence? So there's no real point for us to do it, which then makes it just an instant prosecution, unless we all vote against
I
it.
imagine he would defend himself in that case.
Yes, correct. So
That's
even
true.
if a faction which would normally seek to obtain an advocate, if they can't find one, then the senator is considered to be defending himself as advocate.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So
Nice.
I guess there is that interesting concept there where, you know, there's nobody advocate looking or trying to convince somebody of becoming advocacy. But if somebody wants to take up that defence, then they are certainly more than entitled to do so if they believe that this prosecution is unjust. So I guess there is that still has a balance But right, I guess again to explain to everybody watching and everybody in chat right now or on YouTube in the future, right, this is not normal because you wouldn't normally have an unaligned senator with concessions and corruptions. It's only because we've seen the reduction of one of our factions, the House of Julii, which is no longer playing with us here. And so the senators technically didn't die. We've just moved them to the forum with everything as they currently stand. But it's created this interesting concept, and we're going to let it play out and to see what happens. So in this case, let's go back to the censor for now.
Sure. And I believe Marco had a question.
No, I suppose I had a quick question before we proceeded with it. Was it something that there was the option to wipe all of the senators before putting them into the sandpit kind of thing?
Yeah, look, in terms of removing a faction from play, it's not a rule as such that exists in the rulebook because it's technically not something that's happened or that happens or is accounted for. But I believe what made the most sense is that his senators were moved to the forum. Because even though the player is no longer playing, the senators haven't necessarily died or been killed off. So
but I suppose the question was whether or not that they should have had everything wiped from them or not.
I don't believe the senators disappeared. It's just that the faction collapsed.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Senate, that's right. The faction itself
That's
collapsed.
why you've kept everything on them.
But they keep everything on them. That's right. Because there's no other changes that's really occurred other than just the faction that was looking over them has disappeared.
Yep. And now without the protection of a faction, the other factions are looking to pull apart any influence and power the senators may have accumulated previously.
And certainly in terms of, detaching some of those concessions, a prosecution is certainly a good way to go about it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It's certainly unprecedented for a normal game.
Just curious about something. If he had money in his faction treasury, where would that go?
That would have just been disposed of. And I guess just for the record here, I did check, and there was actually none in the treasury to dispose of anyway. So.
And maybe I just want to confirm, do I have to announce both because I did say I'm going to do 2 minor. Do I have to announce both my prosecutions now or play one?
No, you don't have to. You can wait to see the outcome of the first before you announce your second.
Right. Very well.
I'm happy with that. So let's go and step through this nice and slowly. So for those playing or wanting to look at, you can have a look at your cheat sheets there. So we've got our prosecution equation. First of all, let's ask the censor, who is the consenting prosecutor?
Let's have a look. Does he have to be consenting?
Yes.
Prosecutor, the senator must be appointed, of a consenting. Correct. In that case, I'll open the floor. Would anyone be interested in becoming the consenting prosecutor? Note that there is influence up for grabs.
We could also face the censor to lose influence if we vote against this proposal.
I don't think it's a proposal, right?
No, I'm sorry. I mean, if nobody does it, then the censor has to do it. And then if we all vote against the prosecution, then you would lose influence, correct?
Only if he wishes to retain the presiding magistracy. It would be a quirky case. But right, the rule that you're referring to there is if there is a resounding vote against a proposal of a presiding magistrate, then the presiding magistrate has to make a choice whether they hand down their presiding magistrate position or they cop a -1 influence to maintain that position going forwards.
Influence, yeah.
And maybe it might be worth stating, since there is some talk about it, a tribune may be played by anyone to veto a prosecution.
Good.
So as I'm not the dictator, people could use their vetoes at this stage if they choose to do so.
Good for bringing that up.
So if they were to veto it, what would that mean? Would that say that they could say that it's not going to go ahead?
Correct.
I believe so, yeah.
Yep. Sulpicius would be safe from prosecution this round.
But I'm trying to understand when people then get to go in to start trying to influence during when we get up to that stage.
Are you talking about persuasion attempts in the forum
Yeah,
phase?
persuasion attempts.
Mhm.
Is there still an order in which it's going to go?
Yes.
Whom is going to go first?
So remember, the
HRAO.
HRAO always starts off the initiatives and it goes in a clockwise direction from the HRAO.
Okay, so this round it would be Quintus who would go first.
That is correct. As dictator, now assuming, of course, that he's not sent away to war and he gets stuck away at war, in that case, it'd be the next HRAO which would lead proceedings. So it's always worthy of note that it's got to be the HRAO in Rome.
Okay, but
Another note is... Oh, well, yeah, go ahead.
that would still be Quintus.
Assuming he's in Rome, not sent
Yeah,
away
but
to war.
he also has the Master of Horse.
That's
Correct.
not the second.
No, it would be Consul.
It'd
Yes.
be the Rome
Okay.
console.
Correct.
Okay.
A good thing to note is if this does go ahead and someone doesn't like this, you can also just assassinate the censor.
True. I think that does cancel the current,
It does
Prosecution on
cancel
the
all
board.
ongoing prosecutions, yep.
because
I was just reading it then.
like in some cases, for example, if you've got a normal proposal in the Senate, even though you might assassinate the presiding magistrate, that proposal will still continue with the next HRAO taking over as
in the
presiding magistrate. But
prosecution
right,
section.
in the case of prosecutions, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, in 1.09.14 it says if the censor dies as a result of assassination while the prosecutions are ongoing, all unresolved prosecutions fail and the meeting returns to the presiding
There
magistrate.
you go. Because right, this is a special presiding moment in the Senate. That is right. Look at you guys reading the rules. I love it. Fantastic.
Okay, so I will reconfirm with the floor. Is there any consenting senators who wish to prosecute this this trial
In Rome.
in Rome?
Okay. What does Sulpicius, when you're doing the corruption, so he's going to then lose money and influence?
And the concessions will go to the forum.
So I don't know whether about losing money, but certainly he'd lose any prior console marker concessions, and he'd lose influence and
Yep.
popularity as well, I think.
Yep. So minor prosecution consequences. If convicted, the accused loses 5 popularity,
Mm-hmm.
5 influence,
Mm-hmm.
any prior console markers, and must return all concessions to the forum.
Cool.
So mainly what obviously I'm going after is returning the concessions to the forum so that we can then divvy them up among the major factions.
Okay. Fair enough. Yep.
Sorry, just a question as well. I think, just as a point of order, since before someone mentioned the Pontifex Maximus, they could veto this?
Yes.
Just as okay, cool. It's been so long since I've been Pontifex Maximus. I've simply forgotten the rules. It's just on my mind.
I believe there's no one who's placing up their hands to be prosecutor.
I think Aurelius can do it. I think if it looks like a pretty simple thing of wanting to break up the concessions and reduce the amount of influence on Sulpicius before things start to get divvied.
Okay.
But how's that benefit you?
Benefit me.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember if you lose,
it benefits
if you lose,
Quintius
that'd be-
because he's the censor. He wants to do this. What are you getting out of it?
I don't know, but then I'm
yeah,
just trying to
putting your
figure
neck
out.
on the line for.
Yeah.
Do I'm just trying to figure out though. Yeah, is it still also a thing of basically? Is there going to be any defense to it? Is there any?
He will be defending himself.
It's worth noting he does get defended based off his influence. If I'm not wrong.
Yes, correct.
Which is
He gets to add his influence. So the
His
accused
as
influence
votes.
gets to be added to his defense as well.
So that's 28 votes. So that's a lot. I think we
didn't
only.
realize that added
All
to
I'm
the
saying
thing.
is good luck, have fun.
Wow,
Yes.
that doesn't look like it's an easy thing. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
No.
just thought I'd mention.
So what's the plan, Setzer?
I guess if there's no consenting prosecutor, and my faction doesn't have anyone that could be the prosecutor, I imagine it would fail.
Just that one anyway.
Cool.
Well, in that case, with no consenting prosecutor, my prosecution fails, and I'll choose not to conduct a second one. I hand back the presiding magistrate to the dictator.
All right.
That would have been a fascinating little exercise if that went ahead.
Oh yeah, that was going to be very interesting.
I think that was a fascinating exercise in of itself.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. We have governorships.
I think if we all voted, we could have, because he wouldn't have basically had any votes themselves, so it'd just be everyone else's votes against 28 and a roll.
I'm a wild card. I would have probably voted with him.
Right.
Same here.
There's that danger.
We want to get those concessions off them somehow.
And
We just got to wait. Till,
and those trial
Just
votes are a bit
assassinate
of a
him.
wild card too. They can certainly change the outcome a bit.
Just assassinate him. You'll be fine.
Who's doing the assassination?
No one.
no one. Unless that's your secret code word for playing an assassination.
And just let me real quick. All right. No. All right. So we're gonna do appointment of a governorship to whoever would like to put down their favors of what they should be preferred.
Which is the
I believe
province?
it's Sicilia. Yes, Sicilia, which is currently a developed province,
yes.
meaning you would actually gain money from this.
Yay.
And,
Wasn't
and
that the one I
well-guarded.
developed?
Yep,
Isn't that the one Aurelius developed before and did that before?
correct.
Yeah.
Maybe Ailey should go.
And just
Yeah.
just
I feel like Aurelius was
just for the record, if you have a look, so it's got quite a substantial. What's technically it's got maximum provincial fleets and provincial legions or provincial forces as well. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 provincial forces, land forces there, and it's got the maximum 5 provincial fleets as well. So it's a very healthy and well defended province as well.
And a good source of income if you want it.
Well, I think Ailey's, considering the hard work they put in, is a fine candidate. Better than my guy who died.
It'd be a crime if you didn't.
Did
Like
where
the
did I send
birthright.
it? Sicily? Or Corsica, I think it was. That's right. Who was yeah.
Well, I suppose if everyone is okay with this, would this be a vote as well, or would this be an appointment?
No, it is a standard proposal.
All right. Propose that. Let's see. Aurelius will receive Sicilia, the province.
Hang on. Before we continue, one of the things we failed to do, some of you may have done it automatically, is remove
Markers.
corruption tokens.
Yeah.
So
I
Aurelius,
always
for
forget
example,
that.
with the governor corruption, he can remove that because that is now no longer valid.
Great.
Would the unaligned senators remove theirs?
Yes, correct. The unaligned senators would remove their corruptions as well.
Just a quick point as well. But next turn, when they take their things, they would be forced to, right?
Yeah, another
Yeah.
fascinating example where
Back-
That's
they
interesting.
would get their corruptions back by taking concessions that they currently are in possession of. That's right.
And they just get the money put on their card. Makes it harder to recruit.
Yeah. Yep. But they'll also still
we-
age normally as well. So
Can we elect one of them dictator for life, and then there's no winner?
No.
I'm in favour of that. I tell you, we should put Sulpicius as one. He's getting close to recording them out.
that's funny.
We didn't lose, guys.
We should have made him.
Cornelius, I can
Should have made it
I can
Sulpicius
see,
too.
Achilles has a governor
Master
corruption
Horse.
he can get rid of.
Next dictator needs to Sulpicius as master of force.
All right. Okay, I think
Can we do that?
all the
Well,
corruptions are gone.
just make him dictator.
You technically can.
Sorry, what are you trying to do?
Make Sulpicius dictator.
But
No, there's got to be an aligned senator.
What about Master of Horse?
Nah, it's got to be an aligned
He's
senator.
a senator of the unaligned faction.
It's
Oh,
worth a
dear.
shot.
Worth a shot. But what about Master of Horse, though, technically?
Got to be an aligned
That's the
senator.
same. Okay, yep. Oh, that's all right.
It's very sad.
They were very thorough making these rules.
They're very detailed.
Try to get some loopholes. All right. We shall proceed with the voting for Aurelius getting the province of Sicilia.
Yeah.
We'll hear from the Fortuna's Despair.
You're the Tories?
So 12 in favour.
All right. We'll hear from Pre-Byzantium.
2 votes in favour.
We'll hear from Justia Marita.
3 votes in favour.
We'll hear from the Erudite faction.
12 votes in favour.
Do I need to slow down? All right, I'm going to take that as no. And I'll put 5 votes in favour as well.
Cool. Thank you.
So
Wait a
it's
second.
unanimous, 34 for and 0 against.
All right. Let's go send Aurelius off to Sicilia. I'll set that
Perfect
back
time
up.
to get rid of the rest of the faction, guys.
And let's put his armor on. So let's grab that deck out. See if I can find him. I think that's him here. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Found him. That was pretty
Yay.
quick. Much faster than what I've done previously. Okay, there we go. So Aurelius is off in the provinces now, looking after a very healthy Sicilia. That's excellent. Well done. Okay.
And I believe that's it. All right. So
If the Erudite faction, if you'd like to update your faction votes now that Aurelius has left, so I think you'll need to reduce your faction votes by 5 by the looks of it.
Okay. Yeah.
now that we've finished with our mandatory things, is there anyone like to suggest or propose?
Oh. No, I did agree about are we going to try and fight where was it, the Punic War?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think I guess maybe some quick maths on what we would need to raise, considering that we've got the manpower shortage. Might be a prudent discussion, I guess.
So what's it cost to
20
raise?
at the
So
moment.
it's 20, so we can raise.
What's it cost to raise in a manpower shortage?
It's 20 per thing,
20.
so we can raise 7.
So we can raise 7.
Well, if someone does the math, between this quick break, I would like to make an assassination attempt with Flaminius.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. He's making an assassination attempt with Flaminius. Who is the target?
Furious.
That's of the Fortuna's Despair faction, correct?
Yes, this is.
Wow. And I suppose
Yes,
you've had a
it
good
is.
run of assassinations in the past. All right. I'm now going to move my view down to the assassinations table here. Assassination has been called by Flaminius, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, is there anybody playing any cards that we need to consider at this point in time?
Yep.
And, all right, if you'd like to drag that card out then, and I'm going to bring that up for everybody to have a look at. I'll just change my view here.
Let me make sure we know. We grab
Oh,
the
yeah,
right
there it
card.
is. Yep, you put it in the middle there. Very good. So I'm just going to bring this up on the screen. Okay, this card is called the Assassin card. Support for an assassination plot is widespread, apparently. Now, he'll get to add 1 to his assassination attempt, and any bodyguard rerolls. So play before resolution and discard after use. Yep. So there is the new table there, modified 1d6, where greater than or equal to 5 is killed.
I believe that's the same. I believe that's just what it says in general. I believe it's now 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does look the same. I was going to say that looks the exact same to me, but whatever roll
4
he gets on his
kills them to no
3d6,
effect,
we get to
yeah.
add 1 to that, right? Sorry, he's 1d6, not 3. That would make it.
Yeah, just obliterate them. Just goodbye.
It's like he's pulled out a machine gun in ancient Rome. Okay,
Build a
Furious
tank.
is the target. Flaminius is the attacker in this assassination attempt. I've never seen a game with so many assassination attempts, let alone from one faction. Okay, go ahead and roll the 1d6, and then let's add +1 to that because of the card. Oh, wow.
No.
Oh, he gold.
Oh, boy. Okay. That's he continues his streak of annihilating people. So first of all, I'm just going to dispose of that
But the
assassin
rolls
card.
as well too. That's the rolls.
Yeah, the rolls have been good. They
I
have
tell
been
you, I
favourable.
don't draw events or good cards. I always draw war cards, but I will kill any of you.
Oh, you better win this war then.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, I
that's
can see
Aurelius
that
so we'll see.
Tiberius Cornelius yet again is slowly removing tokens from Furious's card there, which is good from an administrative point of view, not so good from a playing point of view. His coins will go back to the bank. Unfortunately, not the faction treasury, which is sad. And then because it was not a natural death, Furious will go to the Curia. So no save roll there, unfortunately. So he'll... was it Furious that spent a long time? No, that was Valerius, wasn't it? That spent a long time in the Curia, but nonetheless, he's in there now. I'm going to bring him on top to front. There we go. Okay, and Fortuna's Despair and Tiberius Cornelius, you'll now need to update your faction votes and probably your faction influence as well now. Boy, oh boy.
Time.
He won't be too impressed by that.
Well, he's taken 2 of my senators, so you know.
Whew, okay.
We can drop his votes down a little bit to, 7.
Good to see a lot of unity in Rome at this difficult time.
Well, you
all right,
saw what it says underneath my name, so...
Back to the presiding magistrate and his senate, I suppose.
Oh, anyway, continuing on, because no one knows any of that happened. I propose a law card to be played.
Yeah, cool. This is great. This will be our first one, so let's throw that in the sandpit and have a look. Great to finally hear about a law card. That's fantastic. This will be the first one for our game. He's going to flip it over. There it is. I'll bring it up for everybody. Stand by.
Yep,
This
please.
one
Thank you.
is called Military Reforms and originally came in 104 to 100 BC. It says the power of the Senate declines with rising incidence of military force. Hereafter, no player can be appointed consul for life simply by fulfilling the 35 influence requirement. And look, certainly in terms of longevity of games, this is one of my favourite laws to see played. And it's, as an out of perspective card play, this is certainly something I would vote for. But, I'm not playing, right?
Yeah,
So, what I would
finish.
like, Dictator, perhaps if you'd like to explain the little portion in the advanced rules on laws.
All right, let me just go down to laws real quick.
And I'll race you. I'll see if I can...
Law cards are faction cards. Scroll on the blah, blah, blah. Law cards may be played anytime, even blah, blah, blah. It's not really,
You'll find what you need in the advanced rules section. So if you go down to 2.06, passing laws.
Yeah, found it. There we go.
So I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between being appointed consul for life or elected consul for life?
Yes,
Okay,
there is.
cool.
So
Yes.
as a quick rundown, when you reach 35 influence on an individual senator, they will automatically at that point be appointed consul for life. And provided, once you're appointed consul for life, they take control of all factions, and provided that they can survive until a revolution phase, then they will win the game. So that means all other players simply get to become an observer, more or less. There's not a lot that players can do at that point once a consul for life has been automatically appointed at 35 influence. Now, an elected consul for life can occur. So once a senator reaches 21 influence, somebody can make a proposal to propose that particular senator to become consul for life, and that needs to be voted upon. And once that proposal is on the floor, it cannot be vetoed. So that's certainly something to consider. So that is the difference between an elected and an appointed consul for life.
Yeah, so maybe something like, for example, with our current situation, Mark, you've someone who actually does have quite a few votes up your sleeve. If you were able to play your cards right and reduce the votes of, let's say, Fortune's despair, you could put forward a tribune and put yourself, one of your senators, as if they have above 21 influence, which may not be hard to get since you have one at 19, that person to be censor for life and have the votes to be able to cover that.
Oh, I get you. So you're basically self-appointing yourself.
Yeah,
In
you're
some cases,
self-appointing yourself the winner of the game.
Yeah.
But you have to pass the voting section. This law makes it so you only can be voted in and no other way else.
Correct.
Yes.
Right, so there's no longer
Wow.
automatic appointments should this law come into effect.
Wow.
So we see
Okay.
the good dictator is now going to read out the section on passing laws. If you'd like to continue there, dictator.
Which part should we do?
Read 2.06 probably in toto.
Just try and rough it up briefly as possible.
No, you can just read it out. Because this is interesting, because this is the first
okay.
time we've sort of really come across it.
Laws are treated like regular proposals senators may put forward and which award influence if successfully passed. These rules are only added because advanced rules like complexity, but that's not really important. Enacting law. In order for a law to be enacted, it must be voted upon and passed. Law cards may be proposed any time during the Senate phase, even before consuls are elected. So that's a little good thing, if you don't want a consul to be elected or certain ways, like such as reenacting your own consul, again, that you could play that and then do this sort of thing. And then if a player in the middle of proposal resolution, if the player middle of proposal resolutions, it will automatically be next proposal. Good times. Player does not have to be presiding magistrate and is able to passage the sage, the law, whatever, forward without a tribune. So, interesting things.
So I guess to
I'm
summarise
awful at
there,
summarising this.
as the player of the card, you just need to appoint a consenting sponsor and co-sponsor that are in Rome. That can become from any combination of factions or your own, or just so long as they're in Rome. Noting that the sponsor will receive +3 influence and the co-sponsor will receive +1 influence should the law be passed.
Yeah. Good times.
Okay.
So in other words, we're waiting from you as the player to find who your sponsor and co-sponsors are.
Yeah. Why don't we just ask for everyone in general, is there any disagreement with this law of having anyone be automatically appointed?
No disagreement.
Numerous Aurelius, your opinion?
He's totally in your right to play it.
It's very skeptical. We're just going to go with the co-sponsors of Aemilius and Flaminius.
Okay, who is the sponsor and who is the co-sponsor?
Aemilius will be the sponsor.
Okay.
And Flaminius will be the co-sponsor.
Certainly.
What's Flaminius's number?
I believe it's 19, maybe. Let me check. 13. Completely off. Alright. Well, seeing as our skeptical person does not want to say which way they would persuade, and Numerous Aurelius, I'd like to hear your votes for this.
2 votes against.
Tiberius Cornelius, your votes for or against?
7 votes against.
Doesn't surprise me after what happened. The Addendum faction.
I just have a quick question. I was just wondering why Numerous Aurelius would vote against it.
Yeah, do you want to hear my reasoning?
Yeah, I was just trying to understand that.
I think it's simply a partisan bill. So I think based on how the politicking's fallen out here, it simply would be against my interests to go for this.
Well, if you think about it, we're always assassinating people for high influence and killing them and prosecuting them. This would stop this, allowing our senators to have high influence and keep more senators towards them.
That's a good argument, I guess, but one's got to wonder cua bono. Who benefits here? I mean, obviously, Quinticus
Well, obviously,
is.
I don't meet any requirements.
Well, I mean, bypass the law then.
So we don't have to worry about any automatic appointment with senators coming close.
But
because even
you just said you didn't have anyone to worry about.
Can go straight for it.
No, I'd almost be happy with that.
Can an unaligned senator go for this, DM?
I beg your pardon?
Can an unaligned senator go for this? Like, automatic appointment?
No, unaligned senators are not eligible for consul for life.
It just simply doesn't bother me, to be honest.
I believe Tiberius Cornelius's vote was out of spite. You're free to vote however you please.
Oh.
It's just a question of who you trust, I guess.
I haven't done anything wrong to her faction.
Yet.
There is no yet. Your faction's the one who wronged me by taking 2 of my senators. I've just killed off 2
no.
of yours.
This isn't about quibbling about that.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the game, whether or not there is actually a kind of, regardless of the whether or not there's perceived benefit, it was whether or not it does actually add to the game.
Personally, I don't think that it takes away too much risk. I mean, at this point in the game, and simply everyone's position, I don't think that it's really preventing anyone from getting too far ahead. So I don't think it's necessary. Whether or not you agree with that, I guess, is your assessment. But for me, I think it's not necessary. Nobody's really at that high point. I'm not sure if anyone will be at that high point. Plus, the disarray in Rome at the moment doesn't make it a very pressing concern on my mind.
Okay. Where are we? I don't have many. Okay. I don't disagree with you about things about trust, but I still see it as a valid point. So I'm going to do 7 votes for.
Marcus Decimus from the not pre-Byzantium. You don't like me. Justinianus.
I will do my 3 votes for the proposal.
And I shall put 5 votes for the proposal.
So it's 15 for, 9 against. Motion passes.
Okay. And with that, we can drag the law over to the enacted law card spot, which has been vacant for a very, very long time in this VTT, but now it has something on it. So it now sits over there next to your little vote tally section over there on the right-hand side. So our first law, or leges or lex, has been enacted. The military reforms. No longer can a senator in Rome with 35 influence or more be automatically appointed as consul for life. It can now only happen through a proposal of a senator of 21 influence or greater. So we have removed, in essence, a victory condition from the game. So fascinating to see that change. So with that now being successfully enacted, please add 3 influence to Aemilius and 1 influence to Flaminius as sponsor and co-sponsor.
Because you cannot add this until after.
Of the bill. So they can have that influence now. And that's that proposal done.
Concessions. I believe we have one concession.
We do. I can see shipbuilding, yes. the dictator take some time to consider his next proposals. That's very good.
Now, this one is voted on as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Currently looking at factions and income, judging based off cards and
Okay.
knights. Junius is currently the faction with the lowest amount of income per turn. So I propose that we give Junius Shipbuilder concession card.
I'd just like to point out that that will grant me no income over the next turn, so the consideration
That doesn't bother
makes
me at
little
all.
sense. Well, it's just your consideration of my income. It's not really helping that, so.
Oh, you may use it in the future, you may not.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll put this for a vote. We'll go for the House of Fortuna's Despair.
So which number is Junius?
10.
I will vote 7 votes in favour.
The Justia Marita Party.
3 votes in favour for the proposal.
The Deity faction.
7 votes for.
The pre-Byzantine faction.
2 votes against.
Remarkable. And 5 votes in favour.
The irony of the situation is not lost on me.
So it's 22 for, 2 against. So
You're getting
receive that
forced to
shipbuilding card.
take it. You're getting forced.
Against my
Like a
will.
baby trying to, be
Yes.
spoon-fed.
Take your concessions. Take your corruption.
Come on.
Okay.
have to
Where is it?
worry
Oh, I
about
see it.
corruption.
I got it. You're right. I'm not going to collect it anytime soon.
Exactly.
Do you need me to adjust any of the card layering? Are you happy with that?
That's all right. I just swapped it
Good
around.
eye.
Should be fine. It's worth noting that you could force a concession on someone and they're forced to take it, so you could prosecute them. So
Correct.
I'd just be wary, guys. So
They can be concessions can be both a positive and a negative depending on how you want to view it.
yeah, Claudius here. I think he's right for one.
Why would I prosecute you? There is no reason.
I didn't say anything about prosecution. I'm talking about income. I just think that the Erudite faction's done really well. They deserve a bit of money.
Sensing
So is
tension in the
Fortuna's
sense-
That's two separate things. So,
I believe our next course of action will be recalling our lovely Cornelius, who ended my streak of wins. And we'll recall him back, as well as his forces with him, because, if we don't say that, that could end bad.
is this a vote?
Yes, this would be a vote as well.
What are we
so
voting on?
we're recalling Cornelius and his forces.
Ah, yep.
We're getting to the war part of our discussion. So we'll
What
hear
number's
from
Cornelius?
He is 1, I believe.
And
I can't tell
don't
with his
forget, as a
helmet.
part of this proposal, as a point of interest, that if you have a priest, you'll get to add your extra battle vote, and Pontifex Maximus gets to double their personal votes on this proposal.
Not supposed to tell him this. We'll hear from Fortuna's Despair.
9 votes in favour.
We'll go to Justia Marita.
That will be 3 votes in favour.
We'll go for Pre-Byzantium.
2 votes in favour. It's tempted to say against.
The Deity faction.
has 7 votes in favor.
And I'll have my 5 votes in favor as well.
So that should be a total of 26 in favour.
Okay.
None against, so motion carries.
I return.
Everyone be war. His votes go up by like 3.
They double.
All right, so the forces are making their way back, which is good. I'll remove the commander back to the deck there.
So what is that?
So all the active forces are back in the
19,
green astroturf of the fields of Mars. Lovely.
19 plus 8 is 27.
Celebrate the return.
Aha! Clout Gang coming in with the prime sub. Now subbed for 3 months there. Good on you, Clout Gang. Thanks for gratias for coming back, supporting the stream. It's been a wild ride so far. I don't know how long you've been watching for, but there's been assassinations, tension. It's been marvelous. It's exactly the kind of Senate session you'd all hope for.
It's I think it's become less raucous, and now it's the hush daggers and clothes.
Right.
So we're currently sitting at a +4. Which, it's not that good.
Is that without raising anyone?
That's without raising anything.
And what's the optimal number, Marcus Decimus? Or what have we been aiming for in the past?
Last session we were aiming for about a +7. If around +10, +11 is like the guaranteed roll.
So, well, we can raise what 3, 7.
I mean,
But
if we
there's-
really want to, we can get a +10.
Well, but there's no way to raise enough fleets to ensure that we remain prosecuting the war, correct? Because that would require 5, and then only +2 to our roll. Would that, or would that be a consideration? Like,
That
could
would
we
get
do
us
it with?
+6?
Yeah, is that like reasonable enough?
Without
Because-
going through the numbers, my concern would be if we were to raise 5 fleets to ensure that it didn't become unprosecuted, that wouldn't leave us enough gas in the tank
Next turn. Yeah.
to try again.
Yeah, I agree.
And we also
Both
have
do
the
we
danger
spend more money
numbers.
to raise them, and the fact that if we are assuming that you get a disaster, we lose then more fleets. So rather than sending 5, losing 3, we send 10, lose 5.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I think we've got to try to win it on the land.
We do. And also our concern is the danger numbers seen as like, what, 7 of them? Something like that.
About a few.
Just a small bit, and just enough to end the whole game.
Yeah, it feels like last roll of the dice, really.
It's
Not
not,
too much
it's
pressure
not
right now.
necessarily last roll. I think it's worth the Senate's time to sit and negotiate. Maybe it is worth not sending the best optimal forces to ensure that we get another roll at the dice next turn. Maybe we do save the 20 talents and see if that does benefit us next turn. It's worth at least discussing.
I think the only thing that's worth to note is obviously we're in such a weak position that I don't know if next turn we'd even be in a position to do this again.
Well, next turn we won't have a manpower shortage. We'll have the income from the province, and we'll have everyone, if they are willing, to put down money towards.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we lose half our fleets again, half our fleets and forces, I don't know if we can really get to that position. Depending on what we spend now.
With the previous decision of the Senate to keep our veteran legions in reserve for this turn, half losses doesn't actually reduce the number of like half of what we have isn't particularly as bad as it could have been if we didn't have the veterans.
Because our veterans alone at the moment give us 10.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if everyone, I'm only 2 measly votes, so if everyone's happy with that risk, then not much I can say.
I think it's at least worth doing the math. Is all I'm saying.
So the lowest thing we can roll is a 8. To get anything decent.
Did we say we were currently a +4?
We are currently a +4, and the lowest roll we can get without defeat, like without any bad things happening, is 8.
So 1 through 8 bad rolls. 9, 16, 10, 11, 15 are also bad rolls.
8's not bad as long as we get a good plus onto it.
The point is, it's greater than 50% chance of something bad happening at the moment.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like I think we should definitely raise some forces. It's just a discussion of how many. If we are at a +4, I think it's at least worth getting to the +7. Which would keep 90 talents left in the treasury for next turn.
12 out of this... No, 12. Wait. Yeah, 12 out of this 18 numbers are bad to roll.
Currently,
and I believe... Is it?
But...
Well, there's only 15 numbers you can roll.
But...
Oh, well, yeah, technically you can't roll 1 and 2.
Yeah, but what's the distribution of them?
Yeah. Obviously, the center of the numbers are the most likely to roll, and these are the disaster numbers, why we keep hitting them. 10s, 9s, 11s.
Just a question for the GM. When we roll, it's only the roll that goes towards the standoffs and whatnot? It's not what we add on as well?
Just the natural roll is what is susceptible to disasters and standoffs. That is correct.
Okay, so we're looking at 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 9. Oh, 18.
No 12?
No, I believe it's 9, 10, 11, 13, 15.
No, 15, 16.
15, 16. Okay, there you go. So even worse. We got 4 numbers.
We got 9, 10, 11, 15, 16.
Yeah, and we have 12, 14, 17, 18.
You guys are talking at cross purposes.
Yeah, so the distribution table is because the multiple face of different dice can add up to the same one. So there's multiple 11s. There's, a 5 and a 6 and a 6 and a 5. Obviously with the 10, there's a few make that up, which is why the center's got more. So technically, like, there's a certain spread of numbers, but for 12, there's only 2 possible dice that you can get that. Which makes it much rarer than 10, for instance, which you can get with at least 2 5s, a 6 and a 4, a 4 and a 6. So you need to, I'll place one in the chat.
Hang on, we were on 3 dice.
Oh, 3. Oh, that's even worse.
True. Yeah.
What's the math question on the dice rolls?
It's just because we're rolling 3 dice.
No, I understand it. Oh. What are we aiming?
We're just considering the
probability.
The probability distribution curve rolling 3 dice.
Yep. And what are our things for it?
We have 4 numbers that are in the higher end of the spectrum where we can hit.
So if you look in the chat that I posted it, you can see, I think that's percentage. I don't know what the bottom number is, but that's the total combinations that would reach it. So obviously the 10 and 11.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I have I did postgraduate statistics, but I'm just wondering where the thing is for the where's the actual chart for that shows us what rolls like bad.
Combat table is next to our influence.
Oh no, the rolls that equal bad will be on the war.
Oh, yeah, so it's the ones on the war. So it's the 10, 11, 15, 9, 16, which you can hopefully see now.
Yeah, so
struggle with the board.
The 15, 16
I can-
probably isn't bad for us. Like they're less likely.
I'll type in the chat if you want, Marco. Just to save you the. So it's.
Yeah. So like, regardless.
116 of the combinations out of the 216.
Yeah,
Oh.
9, 10, 11 is what?
Well, actually, we got to include the other ones as well.
11.57 plus 12.2 plus 12.2. So there's already a 1/3 chance of rolling a bad number, not including the 15, 16, which is what? We might as well add them all.
So if we're talking all numbers that will end up in bad situations without adding anything,
11, 15.
like just in general, like 7
It's a 44%.
and below.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this war in its current state has a 44% chance of not succeeding, regardless of what our multiplier is.
Wow.
Our lowest number we can hit realistically and get a good number without too many losses is 8.
Yeah, because we've got a plus 4s. All right, so let's consider that part now. Like we already know that we've got a 44% chance of failure, regardless of what we do. So let's go have a look at the next state. So we're at a +4. So we want a victory. So if we roll a 10, it doesn't matter because that's a disaster number. A 9 doesn't matter. An 8's the first one that actually makes it matter.
And to get us to a victory, we need 6.
Yeah, but okay. So what extra forces, if we sent them, would allow us to get the better rolls on the distribution?
Let's see, 8. What is the percentage for an 8?
Like, what does each extra unit
10%.
gain us?
To get an 8, it's like less than 10%.
Yeah. But we are talking about the percentages here. We're probably starting talking about 5 is really low chance. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. +9 is looking pretty guaranteed. If we go to +7 is, like I said, what I usually roll with is 7 and below. So if we go 6.94 plus 4.62 plus 2.77 plus 1.83 plus 0.46. That's a 16.7% plus the 44. So that is a 60% chance of failure. If we go at the +7 mark, we've got a 60% chance of failure.
So,
And then, go on, sorry.
So are we basically weighing up whether or not to keep the troops lower and then so we possibly have another go at it, or trying to make them higher? Is that basically what the decision is?
Correct. So I just did the maths for if we increase our current military strength. Currently we've got a +4. I suggested raising it to +7. So getting another 3 more forces, which will cost us 60 talents. And with a +7 modifier, there's a 44% chance of failure just with the mechanics of the war, these disaster numbers, regardless of what we roll. There's a 44% chance that we don't get a victory. And then with the +7 on the roll, that means anything that's a 6, a 5, 4, or a 3 roll on the dice will be a failure. Also, just because our victory results table doesn't add up, and that is about a 16% chance that occurs. So I added those two percentages together to get us about a 60% failure. Now, if we were to raise, if we go from having a +7 to a +8, that gains us 7%.
Mhm.
And then if we go to a +9, that gains us another 5%. So by spending an extra 40 talents, we gain another nearly 10%. So we change it from being about a 60% failure rate to a 50-50. So is 40 talents worth
The 10 change.
10%? Yeah.
Well, to raise it to what?
To go from +7 to +9 is a 10% change.
And that's a total. Well, +9, that's 60. Well, yeah, 6, 5, 100 talents.
Mm-hmm. Which will
Which
leave
leaves
us
us at
50 talent.
which is our optimal.
I think 0 is still a loss, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess we will not be doing results. We will not be doing events until after the revolution phase at this stage.
So you got a question about order?
Revenue phase. Yeah. So we'll get to have a revenue phase before we get a chance to draw another event that could lower our treasury. So I think we would be safe at 50 talents. So to the Senate, after doing consideration, if we were to raise an additional 3 regular legions at a cost of 60 talents, bringing our state treasury down to 90 talents, this will give us a +7 to the war, which will give us a 40% chance of victory. If we were to go to +9, which will be raising 5 additional regular legions, which will cost us 100 talents, lowering the state treasury to 50 talents. That will give us a 50% chance of victory against the Second Punic War.
Well, I'm in the mindset of spend the 50. The 100.
If we
Get
spend
it
the
to 50.
100, does that mean that basically, I suppose, well, it doesn't matter whether or not we do it first or second, I suppose. Because it still means we can have a crack at it next turn. We just wouldn't have, obviously, the same level of troops to add to
Well,
it.
we could have more depending on how much our income is in the event cards.
Yeah, we do.
True.
And
Rogue does have a
depending on
good
manpower
amount
shortage.
and there are chances that we get this stalemate if we don't win, which is
Okay.
not as devastating as what we've seen with the disasters.
Okay.
I think we would still have another crack at it. I think we'll be pretty bare bone, but that's probably a good percentage to be. We try for the higher percentage with still a chance to have a crack at it next turn.
Okay, as long as it's not making things impossible for next turn.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible. And plus,
It'll be
the Senate will be
plausible.
aware of the situation before the revenue phase. And if we need to buckle down and just say, hey, we got to hand in the money now, we will be aware of that consequence.
But Tiberius Cornelius, what was your feel on it? We haven't really heard from you on it.
Look, I'm of the view we need to go for it and to maximise our chance of victory on the ground.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Alright, so we'll put the proposal down to send the Master of Horse, Emilius, 19, and Flaminius, 13, with...
My dear
we need to raise
dictator,
troops first.
Yes, if I may interrupt, I think there is quite a few things we should do before we do
There's also
actual
the medals,
sending.
yeah.
Oh yeah, medals, too. That is true. I mean, can I, void a senator's medals and just be like, you don't deserve these?
Yes, technically you can do that.
I won't, even though, I should. Alright, we have awards for the proconsul, now just our regular Cornelius, ID number 1 of the Justia Marita faction, with the medal of, let me zoom in on this, because, reading's not my forte. Medal of Suctum.
Medal of Scutum.
Scutum, Latin's not my forte either. For accumulating 8 or more death chit draws. And the Second Punic War Campaign Medal with enemy leader Pip for service in the Second Punic War.
As a piece of trivia, and as you rightly identified, scutum is a Latin word, and scutum is the Latin word for shield. At least the larger ones that the legionaries carried anyway. The smaller one, the smaller circular shield that you'd often see, say, an Aquilitha carrying is known as a palmer. Like a chicken palmer.
Interesting.
That often shields me from the effects of a few beers.
Yeah, a few shields go well with a few beers, that's right, yeah.
And with, could we have the House of Justia Marita please come and collect your awards?
Thank you very much.
Very good. More
And
medals for
we
Cornelius.
have, we have medals for Aemilius's late father.
Yes.
He has service in the Second Punic War with the enemy leader Pip as well.
Very
Which I
good.
believe is the second one I have.
I'll,
No, well, yeah, kind of.
very good. So that adds that. Yeah, there's quite a few there for the Punic Wars.
Just a few.
Yes, very good.
He's done his service well. All right. That's that. I believe raising troops would be next. So in 9 troops, it was correct, mathematician.
We were going to +9, so we were raising 5.
It's 5 total, yeah. So that would bring us 100 talents. Okay. To our scriber, the proposal is we'll be raising 5 troops at the cost of 100 talents. I'd like to hear from the Justia Marita faction.
I place my 7 votes for the proposal.
Fortuna's Despair.
I put my... Hang on, what's my tally? Give me a moment.
Yeah, check your votes.
7 in favour.
We'll go for the Addendum faction.
7 votes in favour.
And I believe Numerous Aurelius was in favour of this originally.
He's in the chat. Yep, he is in favour.
In favour, correct.
How many was he? 2.
2 in favour, yep. And I put 5 in favour as well.
It's unanimous with a total of 28.
Very good. I can see the new legions have made their way to the fields of Mars. Awesome. And somebody, yep, I can see somebody doing the state treasury too. Very good. Leaving us with 50 talents now in the state treasury.
It's not too bad. All right. Is there anything else anyone believes needs to be done beforehand, or? Nope. Doesn't look like we have anything else. Let's see. Land bills, repeating bills. Oh, alright, I guess that's it then. I guess that means it's final part of our Senate with our call for war. We shall be putting the proposal down that Aemilius number 19 and Flaminius number 13, with the total of, how many do we have now? 12, 14, 19. I believe it's 19 legions, if anyone corrects me.
How many veterans and how
I
many?
believe it's 5 veteran legions and 14 regular legions, as well as 5 fleets be sent off to the Second Punic War.
And it's worth noting at this late stage that if we do incur any losses, this war will be considered unprosecuted.
What happened? And do we have the bank to cover that?
Yeah,
It's probably just not worth it. Because I think initially we discussed that to cover it for all scenarios, we would have to raise 5 fleets, which is probably just not worth it.
Yep.
All right. I guess we'll go to vote on this. We'll go with Fortuna's Despair.
9 votes in favour.
Justine
What were we
Marito.
voting on? Sorry, I was just missed the last bit.
Voting
Sending
on
out-
battle.
Yeah,
Battle.
going to war. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Justine Marito.
I'll place my 7 votes. Oh, correction, my 8 votes in favour.
Yes, do not forget your Pontifex Maximus and Priest. If that changes anyone's votes.
They were counted for.
All right, perfect. We'll go to the Addendum faction.
I think I have 8 votes in favour. No, 9 votes in favour.
We'll go to the Pre-Byzantium.
2 votes in favour.
And I put 5 votes in favour.
So it's unanimous with 33 in favour.
Hail Mary.
I think for Erudite, it's only a minor point. They only had 8 votes as opposed to 9 because Aelius's priest is not available as Aelius is out of Rome
Sorry.
right now.
Yep.
32 in favour.
Oh, let's
All right.
get cracking.
So if somebody wants to send those active forces to the active wars box next to the Second Punic War, I'll bring the Dictator and Master Horse in. They're practically there already, awaiting.
And the assassination card, I
and
see.
for some
is
reason,
doing
the
them.
assassination cards decided to come along with us.
He's getting ready for the leader.
Excellent. Yeah, that's right. Let's move the Macedonian out of the way, noting that's going to become unprosecuted later as the only war card.
I mean, if you think about it, could you technically send an assassin to kill the enemy leader?
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Sadly, not an option for us, I'm afraid. Who knows? Maybe in a future rules update, but certainly not for our current game.
Alan, we need something.
Yes, there you go. All right, let's take a break right now, folks. We had another big long Senate session there, so let's take a moment to stretch our legs. So if you're in chat, please hang around, watch some commercials, maybe. We'll let our senators have a quick break, and we'll come back in about 5 minutes, and then we'll crack on with the combat phase for turn 12, wishing them luck as they take on the Second Punic War. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now back in the Roll20 virtual tabletop environment. Our senators have had a leg stretch, had a bit of a break. We've just concluded the Senate phase, having sent the Dictator and Master of Horse off to war, facing that nasty Second Punic War that's been around for a while now. Causing us no end of grief. So it is fantastic to be able to be having the opportunity to take this on once more. So another large force, Dictator with his Master of Horse there. So let's start our combat phase proceedings. Let's just double check on a cheat sheet. There wasn't anything left we needed to consider at the end of the Senate phase. Just checking here, nothing else to do there. Is there... there is still a land commission in effect. Yes, there is. That's fine. So that concession gets to stay with the senator. Yes, that's all really good. Okay, so we are, yes, definitely well and truly combat phasing. So I'm now going to change the view of the camera down to the combat results table. And hopefully we get to use it as opposed to having to face off against a disaster or standoff or something along those lines. So maybe what we can do, pending that... unfortunate event if we get there, if perhaps if Marcus Decimus can open up to the correct points in the rule book where we may have to read and step through those, but fingers crossed that you won't have to, because we're going to get an awesome roll this time.
It's putting too much faith in me.
Yeah. So
44%.
Any final words before we head off to battle here?
Yeah, I need my prayer.
Prayer.
We'll all say a prayer.
We need our prayer from our lovely...
I have a prayer. We'll be beseeching Venus, the god of love and all things fine in life, to smile on us. So we'll say, kind Venus, tearfully we plead to you as we kneel and clasp this your altar. Receive us into your safekeeping and watch over us. Take vengeance on the wicked who have belittled your sanctuary, and in your goodness let us remain at this altar as a refuge from our suffering.
Praise the gods.
Here.
All right.
Okay. Combat phase requires the commander, in this case, the dictator, which I believe is Aurelius. Is that correct?
Yep.
So it's going to be a 3d6 here, but let's get some numbers first of everything that's going on. So, can I please have the total strength of the Senate force, which includes the strength of the commander and his master of horse, all legions, counting the veterans as double?
32, I think.
Yeah, I get that as well.
32 is the number I'm hearing as the strength of the Senate forces. Okay, and what is the total strength of our enemy force of the Second Punic War?
23.
What was that one? 23?
Yeah.
32 minus 23 is, of course, a difference of plus 9. Is that correct?
Yep.
It is.
Okay, so the enemy strength was 23. Okay, right, let's go ahead and let's read me out all the danger
assassin card
numbers.
for plus
So, what ones do we not want to roll?
9, 10, 11, 15, 16.
So we don't want to roll a 9, 10, 11, 15, or 16. They are all the baddie numbers that we do not want to roll. Assuming we don't hit one of those numbers, we're going to add a plus 9 to our natural roll, and that will give us our final result. So, Dictator, Commander, 3d6 when you're ready.
I'll be ready next Senate game.
Oh, man, I'm
Not
nervous.
looking.
Oh, no. So we just wrap the game up.
So,
for those that can't see the chat window, he's rolled an 11, which
Stalemate.
which isn't good. And right, so that's one of the war stalemates. Is that correct?
Yep.
Or is that
correction? Standoff.
The
standoff.
standoff is the correct number. Yeah, there we
Standoff,
go.
yeah.
So let's scroll up to our view here, and I think Marcus Decimus is on the standoff part in the rules. So let's slowly step through what we need to do for a standoff.
All right, so the losses in a standoff is equal to 1/4 fractions rounded up of all participating Roman forces.
Okay, so we have 5 fleets. So assuming we had 4, a quarter would be 1, rounded up would be 2. So we're going to get rid of 2 fleets.
Yes.
Everyone agree?
Agreed.
Okay, so that's 1. And now, how many legions we got there? 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12,
19.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We've got 19 total legions.
That's 5.
Yep.
All right, and that's 5 legions we're going to get rid of.
Hopefully not all our veterans.
Hopefully not all our veterans. That's all right. Now, I've got my special randomized calculator here.
What,
Because
what are we talking about death jets in terms of standoff?
Let's wait. We'll get there in a minute.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of important.
So, let's...
Your legs will be cut in quarters.
No assassinations needed.
Okay, let me just check
Should
the
have brought
stats
the
good.
assassin again for plus 10.
Okay, so we're looking at fleets first. We need to get rid of 2 fleets. Do we have fleet 11? No, we don't. But what's closest? Fleet 9?
9.
Fleet 9's going to go.
Yep.
All right, so let's. So somebody wants to take charge. Yep, good. Somebody's there now. So we're going to lose Fleet 9. Next one we're going to lose is the highest one you've got. So 21 is the next fleet that's going to go. All right. So they're the first fleets and the first forces that we're going to lose. We can put them to one side for the moment. Now let's go to talk about legions. We're going to get rid of 5. All right, here we go. Is there a 23rd Legion?
20.
It's 24th.
Yeah, the 24th Legion's going to go. That's the first one to go. That was the closest one I see. Yep, good. Next one.
Taking the bullet for our 25th veteran.
Yeah. It's another high one. Is there a 21st Legion?
Yes, there is.
Yep, that one's got to go. Pull that one out. That's 2 down. Next one. 6th Legion. Yes, there is.
Taking them pull up to 7.
Next one. We're looking at a 17th Legion.
We do. Yep.
We've got one of those as well. Take the 17th Legion out. Now we're going to do one more. Let's see if the Legions all survive. The last one is... Oh, no, it's the 1st Legion.
Not the big red one.
Not the big red one. All right, next line, if you please, Marcus Decimus. We'll just leave the deads there for a minute.
Certainly. The Roman commander remains in command as proconsul unless recalled or killed. Now, if I go to land losses...
So let's do the first thing first. Who's the Master of Horse there? Is that Flaminius?
Yep.
Now, because the dictator is proconsul, Flaminius immediately returns to Rome.
Yeah.
So you can now remove your away from Rome marker on Flaminius, but he will retain his office. So leave Master of Horse on his card. He will remain as Master of Horse, but now he returns to Rome. Aemilius is now going to become proconsul. So if you'd like to swap out your dictator token for a proconsul one, as you're already doing, very good. And while you're there, grab yourself a prior consul marker. Because proconsuls will get a prior consul marker, and that way we won't forget later. Assuming he survives, which he will.
Yeah. Keep putting more pressure.
All right, good. So while you're just finalising that, back to Marcus Decimus is going to talk to us about land losses and stuff.
Yes, under land losses, the commander, regardless of the victory result, immediately loses 1 popularity for every 2 legions that are lost, rounded down.
All right, so I'm hearing a minus of 2 popularity.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do that now for Aemilius. So he's going to lose 2 popularity there. What else?
Commander death. In any battle other than defeat, draw a number of mortality chits equal to the number of units lost.
All right, so we've lost a total of 7 units. So we're going to see 7 death chit draws. Both Aemilius and Flaminius are vulnerable to these as the Master of Horse and Commander. So the numbers that we do not want to see are 19 and 13, which are the ID numbers of these senators. So let's start off. The first one is not a good one. It's a draw 2. Go ahead and draw 2 now. First one is a 26, and the next one is a 17. Okay, let's do roll number 2. Is a 7. Next one, 21. Next one is another 17.
So what's that? We're on 4, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So this would be 5.
This is 5, which is none. That's a good one. 30. One more. 12. Whoa, that was lucky. You both survive. All right. Anything else, Marcus Decimus? I don't think so.
I do not think so. Everything else just is if the war becoming unprosecuted.
Right, right. So it will become unprosecuted. We'll certainly do that in just a moment. There's no changes to unrest level because it wasn't a disaster or a defeat. Just a standoff. That was the term, wasn't it? Standoff, as opposed to a stalemate.
Yes, it is a standoff.
A standoff.
The forces did battle, and we are both bloodied and are standing off from each other.
Right.
Yeah, so they should lose some forces, right? So just take off 7 from them.
Wouldn't that be lovely? Okay, so let's conclude our combat phase now. Now, there's any provincial wars that are under attack right now. Let's have a look. We don't have Illyricum and Macedonia. Illyricum's already taken over. So the only province we've got, is Illyricum, I believe, is under attack because of the First Macedonian War. So, as you can see there, the First Macedonian War says...
I should actually... There is something we do need to add.
Yes?
Veterans. 1 legion from among survivors of a stalemate, standoff, or victory is transformed into a veteran legion.
Aha. So, that will be... is there a 20th Legion? Yes, there is.
So we lost one and we gained. So we didn't technically lose a veteran. There we go.
So if somebody wants to swap out the 20th Legion token and replace it with the 20th veteran, and while we're at it, if Aurelius would like to get
I'll do that.
the veteran allegiance marker for the 20th Legion, pop that on Aurelius's card as well.
I think this is the first non-victory, non-disaster result.
Yeah,
we've
true.
I believe
haven't
this
seen one of
is.
these yet. Salve to Sempronius Agricola, who's joined us in the chat and thrown in 100 bits, 100 cheer bits for Rome. So good on him
It
for
was
joining
20,
us there.
you said, correct?
Yep,
What was
I've already
your
done it.
Just making sure it was 20.
Yep,
Yep.
20.
Cool.
20 is the
Allegiance
Legion in
was
question.
20.
Illyricum. Right, so the First Macedonian War is now going to attack Illyricum. And we notice that one of our unaligned senators up there at the moment, Calpurnicus, is in there. Holy dooly, Sempronius Agricola has come through with a whole bunch of Tier 1 subs. Congratulations to Master Splinter, Eureka TTV, Pians, Alakathia, as well as Izengrin. Wow, some great names in here. You've all received a Tier 1 gifted sub from Sempronius Agricola. What an awesome individual. Make sure you give him a big gratias and throw in some emoticons in chat. Continuing to support the channel in big ways. Thank you, Sempronius Agricola, for being an awesome human being. Fantastic. Okay, let's consider the pain now of, which is a developed province too, Illyricum, now under attack of the First Macedonian War. So let's go step through this process now and run some numbers. So the total strength of the Senate forces here. So Calpurnicus has a military strength rating of 1. The province has a strength rating of 4, which comes to 5. Now, he does have a provincial force there, but the provincial force is only worth half, which is essentially fractions rounded down. So we're not going to see any advance on 5 because there are no garrison forces there. So that provincial legion isn't going to do a lot for us at all. Now we look at the strength of the enemy there. The strength of the enemy is 12. So 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So we've got a -7 modifier.
Let's go disaster.
So, right, we're really hoping that the governor here rolls a disaster, a 12, an 11, or an 18, which are the standoff numbers. So 12 for disaster, or 11 or 18 for a standoff, to see if we can maintain this province for the good of Rome, considering it is currently under attack by the Macedonians. So, I'll do the roll on behalf of our unaligned governor here, which is Calpurnicus. It's going to be a 3d6. So I need to pull out my dice. Let's have a look here. 3d6. Scroll across the board, and we are going to roll a 13.
Nope.
So that doesn't sound very good to me. Let's just do the final
rolls?
tally. 13 minus 7 is...
6.
In any case, it's well within the defeat range.
Yes.
6.
6. Yeah.
So that province has been annihilated by the First Macedonian, which is unfortunate. And we will also see the death of Calpurnicus there, the richest guy ever. Is that right? Is that the rich guy?
The rich guy. Known as
the Provincial Legion will see that loss as well. We'll remove the 1 token over there for the moment. Illyricum is now going to be aligned with the First Macedonian War, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's going to add 4th strength to the Macedonian War there.
It's fine, guys. It's only 42 talents that are gone.
Yeah, we actually put some money back in the bank. Isn't that lovely? And we will see the death now of Calpurnicus. Perhaps if I could ask Marcus Decimus, can you put the away from Rome marker back into the pile? I'll remove the age token now. Put that up there. Very good. And I can put
Are
this.
you also happy for me to remove those dead legions and
Please,
fleets?
yes, you may also go put those back in the forces pool down the bottom as well. Thank you very much for that.
Or was that active forces pool?
No,
right?
no, I wish. The forces pool down the bottom. So you got your active forces box in the forces pool. That's it. And now Copernicus is going to go over to the Curia. I'll just bring him to the front there. Pop him on top. Okay. So we see the death of another governor. Not doing too well in the provinces. Illyricum now attached to the First Macedonian War. Not a wonderful outcome there. Okay.
Where did the first regular legion end up? Because we were separating legions that were.
Yeah, sure. I'll bring them back. So anytime there's a veteran legion, I've been moving their markers out of the way. Let me bring them back. Now that legion has died, I can bring that token back. In fact, if you want to grab it now from the sandpit, it's back there in the sandpit.
Okay, and I will send you
Thanks.
the 20th.
Perfect. That's a great deal. I like that you've done that. That's just so we don't accidentally raise a new legion when there's a veteran equivalent out there. Yep. In the future, what I'll do is I'll have these that they're flippable, which is you can actually do that, so that'll make things a little bit easier for us.
Which matches the real world game.
Which matches the real game. That's right. Okay, let's finish off our combat phase now. Now that we've seen that provincial outcome of that provincial war, so we're just going to talk about the unprosecuted wars now. So the active wars not dealt with, or have inadequate fleet support, etc., become unprosecuted wars. So the First Macedonian will become unprosecuted. The Second Punic War, as we know, is we didn't get the outcome that we wanted there because we've lost the required fleet support. So that one is also going to be considered unprosecuted now. Just drag them all across, but otherwise all three are unprosecuted. We don't have any war exhaustion yet, which is good. I'll just remove the wrong marker from the war. Let me put that one back. There we go. That's better. Okay. All right. That will conclude the combat phase. Let's now go into the revolution phase. Let's talk about voluntary retirements first for those that are eligible. Let's go to the highest ranking available officer in Rome right now, which will currently be the Rome consul, considering the dictator is out of town, which is at pre-Byzantium. Scrolling in. Not over the 20 limit, so nothing from pre-Byzantium. Across to the Eruditi faction. Nobody here is over the 20 limit. Okay, across to House of Incognita. Same case there. Fortuna's Despair, same case there. And then Justia Marita, same case there. So there'll be no voluntary retirements this round. Let's talk about intrigue. At this point, it's a free-for-all where players who wish to trade from their hand. Is anybody wanting to do any trades at the moment?
Can you give me a second?
Yeah, that's okay. Take your time. Like I said, we're not in a rush here. So if you want to talk about some trades, have some private discussions for the moment. Let's see how you go. Yes, open trades can happen right now, no particular order. And then eventually we'll talk about playing intrigue cards from your hand next, starting with the HRAO. So we'll allow some discussions to occur right now. Perhaps while we wait, I wonder if we're eligible to play an ad yet. Not yet. Not eligible to play yet. We recently played one over the break. So we all get to watch the deliberations and the thinking faces. Watch the thinking faces of senators, so we can see who might be in discussions right now, considering a trade. Yes. Yes, coming to an interesting point in the game here. Certainly a precarious position for our players, facing yet another defeat against that Second Punic War. What that means is they've only got one more combat phase to get rid of it. Otherwise, they all face a defeat, and they will not be unable to defeat the game. Now, in that case, if that does occur, we will still announce an individual winner from amongst the players based on influence level. So the players will no doubt be considering that as well going forwards in case that unfortunate event transpires. But all players are certainly hoping that they can defeat the game and win.
So what I'm hearing is we need to get Alan to update the rules to have a 2d6 roll, and you need to get an 11 or 12 to then assassinate the enemy leader. Yeah?
I've got a card I'd like to trade.
Cool.
Go
ahead
so
and
I will
trade. Yes, I can see some trade
drop
cards
that
up and down now.
If anyone wishes to trade with me, please use my hidden name that's underneath my name.
I don't know if it's come out.
Only people who know.
You can just drag it from your hand.
Yeah. So it's just lagging a little bit. Oh, is that one for me in the sandpit? Yeah.
Yep, that one's for yours. Once
Thank
I see
you.
yours down.
Yours is in your faction, sir.
Oh, you placed it there. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, you should see it.
I thought,
Gypja.
yeah, like yoink.
Okay. Any other trades that wish to take place at this time? Doesn't sound like it. I think we're good to continue. So let's now do the intrigue step of our revolution phase. Go starting with the HRO, back to the Rome console, and pre-Byzantium. Any cards you'd like to play at this point in time?
No.
Nope. Cross to Erudite faction. Any cards you'd like to play at this time?
No.
All right. House of Incognita.
Nope.
As we say, Assassination Nation. Fortuna to spare. Any cards you'd like to play at this point in time?
No, thank you.
All right. I'd normally say House of Julia now, but they're no longer with us. What about Justia Marita? Any cards you'd like to play?
No, thank you.
All right. Nothing further on the intrigue step there, and I don't think anybody's over our discard limit. So it's more than 5 cards. We do see one player with 5, but that's okay. And there are no victorious commanders to declare rebellion, but I do have to ask governors as well. Are there any governors that wish to declare rebellion at this point in time? And I guess there is only one person that could potentially do that if they desire, and that is Aurelius of the Erudite faction. Do you plan to rebel at this point, or are you happy to continue as a loyal senator of Rome?
I will continue as a loyal senator of Rome.
Okay.
But what does that mean? Does that mean that you'd take those troops and try and march against Rome?
That's exactly what that means. Yes. So you, in your own right, would become an active war against the Senate.
Why are you trying to think about this?
Because I was thinking the Senate is very weak at the moment. It would be a very, very opportune time.
It's fine. I'll just assassinate you whenever I feel like it then.
You won't be able to once she becomes a rebel.
Yeah.
I can always assassinate
Can't you
her other
assassinate
members.
rebels? Why can't you assassinate
No, because
rebels?
they're not considered being in Rome.
They're not in Rome anymore.
Oh, wow. No, let's not march today. I'm
Okay.
too tired.
All right.
I have to go to bed
continue on.
tonight.
So we'll end that turn there. No
Yes.
other victory conditions met at this point in time, or loss factors for that matter of time. So let's go back to the beginning. No imminent wars to talk about right now, which is good. Now let's do war exhaustion. So what we have to do here is now age our wars. I'm going to do this now. So we're going to see that Second Punic War reach that dangerous number 6. I'm going to bring that to the front. Drop that back on the card. We'll see the First Macedonian go to the age of 1 now, and we see the First Sicilian reach the age of 4 in terms of age of wars now. Okay, there we go. So all our wars are now aged, and that is the red alert now to get rid of that Second Punic War this new turn. We're now going to age our senators, everybody. So you guys know the deal. Go ahead and age all your senators, please. I'll look after all the unaligned senators, so I'll age them all now. But everyone else in your factions, you can now age your senators. So we'll take a moment to do that. So Sulpicius in the middle here is going to become age 8. Good on him. He's done all right for himself. All right, slowly aging our senators here. Take your time, make sure you get it right. We're going to see Aurelius become 5. And Furious become 4. Okay. And there's one more senator I'm going to do. Terentius, who's going to become age 1. I feel like he should have been older. But nonetheless, he's going to get a 1 token now. All right. So we've aged all our unaligned senators. All right. And then I'll wait upon our other senators to see how they're all going. Is there anybody still aging their senators right now? Everybody finished? Yes, or head nods, thumbs up across the board.
Close
Yes,
enough.
yes. Marta Covetti, you're all done too.
Not quite, but I'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Well, yeah, just take your time. Make sure we do it right. And I think there's still some time before we reach you. So we're going to go check for natural death. I'll start with the pre-Byzantium faction here. We got an age 8. Oh boy, Unius. Unius. Now he is a faction leader, so if he does pass away, we will not lose him from the faction, so that's not bad. So on normally from age 7, you just don't want to get a 6, but because you're now age 8, you don't want to roll a 5 or a 6. So go ahead and roll that 1d6 now there, please, Numerius Aurelius, and let's see what happens.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh,
He will pass away from old age at this point in time. So, if you could kindly put the concessions back in the forum, remove all other tokens, bar your faction leader token there. But yes, he passes away from natural causes, but because of the faction leader token, he will remain with the faction. All right, and that's you done. Let's go across now to the Erudite faction. All right, how are you going here? Let's have a look at your senators. We've got one age 6, and one age 8. Plautius. So Plautius is going to have to do a roll as well today. So, so let's roll here. And there's
Dead.
a 6. So we're going to see Plautius pass away of natural causes. Perhaps if I could ask Numerius Aurelius, if you'd like to help clear the tokens away from Plautius, and because Plautius is the faction leader, there'll be no change. He'll get to stay with the faction. And of course, for those that lose senators right now, if you'd like to update your faction votes and influence, that will be important as well. All right. Let's go across now to the House of Incognita. I've got one age 2 and one age 8.
Sent you a message, so
Yeah, that's fine. So let's now do Flaminius, and let's see how we go. Noting that maybe he was too old to be sent away from war, but he wasn't in an important position. He was only Master of Horse. But we'll note for next time to watch our ages for senators. In this case here, but he'll roll a 3, so he'll actually survive. So he'll live to see another day. So that's a good roll for you. Down to Fortuna's Despair here. Let's check for ages. We've got an 8 and a 9 and a 5. So we're going to do 2 aging rolls here. Who would you like to do first there? Tiberius Cornelius?
Let's go with the eldest, Claudius.
All right. So you don't want to roll a 4, a 5, or a 6 at an age 9 senator. So go ahead and roll. Let's see how you go.
It lives
Wow.
on.
He will live another day. That's amazing. We're going to see an age 10 senator. That's phenomenal. That's fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and do Achilles. Don't roll a 5 or a 6. Great.
Easy peasy.
Achilles is also going to live on. Well done. Good on you. Okay, let's go double check out Justin Marita. There's one to do an aging roll here. That's Cornelius at age 8. So you just don't want to roll a 5 or a 6. Go ahead, Marcus Decimus, if you'd like to roll your 1d6.
Dead.
Yes, 5. Unfortunate. So, yep, you know the deal. Fortunately, we're going to clear all his tokens, and because he's the faction leader, he will stay with the faction. But yes, all other tokens will disappear and go back to the kitty on the sides of the board. And then, of course, you'll have to update your faction votes and faction influence as well. So, yes, we've seen a few old senators there kick the bucket. Now, I think there might even be some underlined senators we need to consider as well. I think there's one. Yes, there is. That's Sulpicius. So I'm going to do a roll for Sulpicius now. He's age 8. Let's see if he survives. I'm going to pull out my 1d6 here. We don't want to roll a 5 or a 6 for him, or maybe we do. Let's see what happens. 1d6. Here we are. And we will roll a 3, so Sulpicius will live on. And he'll get to go eventually see age 9. And that will conclude the mortality phase. Mortality phase is now completed. Let's now do a revenue phase. We've got no rebels, but we're going to do personal revenue. You guys know the deal. Go ahead and start your revenue. I'll rattle off the usual rules and income. So, faction leaders get 3 talents. Every other senator will get 1 as their base income. Don't forget to add 1 talent for each knight that you possess in your possession. And also, you are now required to take concessions, assuming they're not the really specific ones like raising legions or fleets, but for all other concessions, you need to claim those concessions and become corrupt accordingly. So make sure you're doing that. All right, and 1d6 for the Pontifex Maximus in addition to his base 1 income. So when you're ready to Pontifex Maximus, don't forget to roll your 1d6 to see what other money you can get for Achilles. He'll get, wow,
6.
great, he'll get an additional 6 talents. So Achilles in his own right is going to get 7, 6 plus 3 because he's a faction leader. 6, 7, 8, 9. So he'll actually get 9 talents as an individual senator, which is quite a good haul. Well done. And then, of course, we need to talk governors as well. So let's scroll up to the new governor of Sicilia, which is Aurelius. And let's ask if he'd like to take provincial spoils. So Marca Wedia, would Aurelius like to take provincial spoils?
Yes, please.
Righty, so it's going to be a 1d6 plus 4. So when you're ready, go ahead and roll a 1d6. And that will be a 1, but you'll get 4 on the back of that, so it'll be 5. So in your total tallies, go ahead and give yourself another 5 talents. All right, anybody got any questions about how many talents they should be earning for their faction this round? And of course, as I usually allow, you can also do your redistribution step at this point in time. So between your individual senators, between your faction treasury to and from, if you've made some deals, either publicly or privately, now is the time to pass money, if money was concerned, between players. So that can also happen now as well. The only time that money can really exchange hands is now during this revenue phase. Alright, so we'll give the players an opportunity to finalise the money that's in their faction treasuries and on their personal senators. So just note, if you've got plans, have a read of your white cards there, your white cheat sheets on the actual virtual playing board. They'll give you an idea about when talents can be used and whether they need to be coming from an individual personal treasury. And don't forget about our new unique initiative step that's coming up in the forum phase as well. If you're looking to bid on that, that'll also need to come from a single individual personal treasury as well. All right, so just a few more moments while the senators finalise all of their banking. All right. Anybody still going? Has everybody done all their banking? Any concerns? No? I think everybody's finished. Very good.
Yep.
Let's finish off our revenue phase now. All right. We've done our redistribution. Province development. There's no province to develop. Every province that we do still have left in our possession is already developed. We've lost all the others, so that's rather unfortunate. Let's talk state revenue now, folks. So... grab your calculators and your pens and pencils and let's go through our process here and let's get a good sum going. So at the top of your page, you're going to write down a plus 100 talents, which is our base income for the state. And plus various talents for loyal provincial state incomes. So let's go to our province while we're here, straight off the bat, and zoom in on Sicilia, which is our only province we need to talk about, which is the state income, 1d6 plus 2. So if I could ask Mark Wedia, on behalf of Aurelius here as the governor, to roll for the state income, which is 1d6, please. Oh, that's very good. It's going to be a 6 plus 2, 6, 7, 8. So everybody go add plus 8 talents to your running total. That's pretty good. That's the kind of numbers that we like to see here. And now we're going to go around the place and ask if people would like to make contributions. So let's start with the highest ranking available officer, which is now going to be the field consul, I believe, noting that Unius as the Rome consul has just died. So where's our field consul? Who's that?
It's down here. It's
Down
Manlius.
here, there it is. Right, so you are now a HRAO. Congratulations to you for this next little bit here. So let's start with you. Would you like to make any donations to the state at this point in time?
I would like to donate 10 talents.
Cool, and who's that 10 talents coming from?
Manlius.
Manlius. All right, so Manlius is going to gain 1 influence from this transaction, and everybody else with a calculator is going to add plus 10 talents to the running total. I'll just give you a moment to do that banking. So I think Manlius is now going to go to a total of 10 influence now, which is good. All right, and you've done that banking. That's good. It was a single 10 talent coin, was it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go clockwise now around the world. Justin Marita, anybody donating to the state treasury today?
Yes, I do. I have Cornelius donating 10 talents.
All right. So everybody with a calculator or pen is going to add another plus 10 talents to the running total, and Cornelius is going to gain 1 influence from this favour. So he's going to go and bank that and bring back a number 6 number for his influence by the looks of it, from 5 to 6. So good on him for that. Very good. Let's now go up to pre-Byzantium. Anybody donating to the state treasury today?
Yeah, I'll donate my measly 3 talents.
All right. No reward there, but we are going to see a plus 3 talents added to our running total or our calculators right now. All right. And pre-Byzantium is going to do that out of good faith. That's very good. Let's go across to the Erudite faction. Anybody donating to the state treasury today, Mark Rewedia?
Yes, Plateus will donate 10 talents.
Plateus is going to donate 10 talents. So everybody with a calculator or a pen is now going to add a plus 10 talents to our running total. And Plateus is going to bring back a number 3 number because he's going to gain plus 1 influence from that donation to the state treasury, meeting the requisite 10 talent minimum threshold. That's very good. So Plateus will now be at 3 influence, which is excellent. Let's go across to the House of Incognita. Anybody from the House of Incognita donating to the state treasury today? I'm not hearing anything. I'm assuming he's shaking his head. Sorry, I didn't have my camera.
Talents.
There we go. So was that 10 talents?
15.
15 talents coming from...
Emilius.
Coming from Emilius, okay. So he'll get 1 influence for that, and everyone else is going to add plus 15 talents to their running total. Emilius is going to go up 1 influence, and we're going to see 15. That's very good. All right, that's all the contributions to the state. So now let's talk about debts. The debts of the state. I'm going to change the view across to... there's none in the active forces, but they are up in the up on the field of battle still, and we still have to pay them, unfortunately. So 2 talents for every unit. Who can give me a total cost of all of our active forces right now? $17 times 2?
34.
34. So we're going to see minus 34 talents to our running total to pay for all of our legions and fleets. We're also going to add minus 20 for each of our unprosecuted wars, and we have 3 of those. 20, 40, 60. So we're going to add minus 60 talents to pay for all of our unprosecuted wars. And we're going to have to pay various talents for our land bills in effect, and we do have one, which is a type 3 land bill, which costs us 10 talents per year. So we're going to add minus 10 talents to our running total. So that is... Now let me read off that list once more. So for those who haven't been keeping track but would like to now do the add up, I'm about to read them out. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's go through our transactions. So it is plus 100 talents, plus 8, plus 10, plus 10, plus 3, plus 10, plus 15, minus 34, minus 60, and minus 10. Who's got a total?
52.
I have one call for 52 talents plus. Any changes on that?
I mean, if we can add like 1,000 on top of that, sure.
All right, sounds like 52 talents is our our total change here. So we're now going to add that to the 50 talents of the state treasury. So we're now going to see a total of 102 talents now in the state treasury. So who would like to do that? Do I hear any takers? If not, I'll have the field console maybe appoint someone.
I'll
already
appoint.
working on it.
There we go.
Yep. There we go. All right. While the state treasury is being updated, let's go back to our provinces. Now, there's no room there to raise additional forces, so we don't need to ask about that right now. But we do need to update our term dial for Aurelius, and I'm going to do that on his behalf. So he's going to go from 3 to 2. So I'm going to bring I'm going to get rid of that card deck so it's not in my way anymore. Grab the number 2. There we go. That's better. And I'll put that on the governor's card there to show he's now got 2 turns left as governor. Okay. All right, we have now done the debts. Let's just double check. Our state treasury is now at 102 talents. Unrest is currently at 6. We've updated our governors.
Sure, I got a camera. I've got
What's
a
that?
camera.
We've got audio, but no camera. Yep. That's okay. As long as we've got your audio, that's good. Although you have just muted yourself, just making sure you know. All right. Let's go ahead and let's quickly rattle through our forum phase, folks, to finish off our session for the day. Noting we're going to do all of our initiatives like we normally would, but we will do that new interesting bidding for the final 6 of the initiative, noting that we only have 5 factions now. So let's go to our highest ranking available officer, which is now the field console at Fortuna's despair, who's now get to lead us off today. So let's start with rolling a 2d6 to see whether we get events or not. So over to you, Tiberius Cornelius.
It was a 2d6, isn't it?
Yes, please. There we go. It's a 3. You're going to get a card today. You know the usual deal. Don't click on the deck. All right, it's revealed. Go ahead and draw a card. Yep, you've got it. Is it red text or blood text?
It is black.
Black text. All right. If it's black text, go ahead and drop that in the sandpit. Let's have a look at it.
I thought someone was crying.
It's black, but it's not a war though.
Oh, that's good. That's a start.
It might be a red text
Senator?
then. It might be a faction card. I tell you what.
It could be a senator, right?
If you give me the title of it in a whisper, I'll be able to confirm for you if you like. It could also be a senator. That's true. It could be a senator. If it's a senator, then that would go out to the sandpit. Yeah, as in a standard family card, as opposed to a statesman. A statesman you'd keep secret, but if it's a black family card, that would go to the sandpit.
Could always just show us what the card is, you know.
You could also do that. Yes.
Where did I put it?
In the sandpits. Anywhere in the sandpit's fine. Yep.
I thought I just did, but I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Oh, no, here it is. Yeah, it's over here.
There we go. And flip that over at your leisure. Yes, there we go. It's a family card. Very good. So this is Cassius from the Middle Republic. I think is it the first one? I think we might have seen statesman's already, but at very least in terms of family cards, we've now got Cassius, an underlined senator. Very good. And another senator that can be persuaded. So let's finish off your initiative there, Tiberius Cornelius. Any persuasion attempts today?
I might try to persuade Cassius.
That sounds like a good plan to me. Let's flip over the sheet and let's talk numbers. Who's going to be doing the persuading today?
Manlius.
Manlius. And what is his influence?
10.
Okay. And what's his oratory?
2.
All right, so we're currently talking about 12 there. And let's talk about our target senator there. So what is his loyalty?
His loyalty is 9.
Okay, so we're currently looking at a base number of 3. He's got no money on him, which is good. Now, would you like to put any bribes to sweeten the deal coming from Manlius's personal treasury?
I would, yeah.
Okay, and how much are you looking to do today?
What's the optimal number? Is it 9?
So you want to reach 9, yep.
So I'll put on 6.
6 talents, that's correct.
Oh.
So we're now up to a base number of 9 right now. So let's now dance around the field while you're going to pop that onto Cassius's card. Cross to Justin Morita. Any money from the faction treasury to counter bribe today? Marcus Decimus? No,
None
sorry,
from
I see the head shake there. Very good. Up to pre-Byzantium. Any faction treasury counter bribes? Give me a head shake again. Sorry, I don't have the direct view of the camera. Numerius Aurelius, pre-Byzantium. Sorry, did I say a wrong name?
Sorry. No. What was the... No counter bribes.
No counter bribes. Okay. Marca Wedia from the Eruditi faction.
No, thank you.
No counter bribes. House of Incognita. Any counter bribes?
No.
No there. All right. So we're going to see it's an almost automatic, but you need to get under that 10. All right. So 9 or less. So go ahead and roll 2d6 and let's see how you go. He will roll a 3. So that means with the money staying on Cassius's card, let me put that to the back. Yep. You can now take Cassius, take his talents, so leave that money on Cassius's card now. That permanently sits with him now for the moment. And go ahead and update your faction votes and influence now that you have a new senator in your faction. So that's a successful persuasion attempt there. And let's finish off the rest of your initiative. Would you like to roll for a knight or pressure multiple knights today?
Roll for a night, thanks.
All right, and who's going to be doing that?
I will have Claudius, and he'll put on a lazy 3.
A lazy 3. Interesting. Okay, so normally you'd have to roll a 6, but with 3, 5, 4, or a 3. So you need to roll anywhere between 3 and 6 inclusive to get a knight today with a 3 talent donation. And he will not get it. Unlucky. So that 3 talents will go off to the bank, and Claudius will remain knightless for the time being. Anybody sponsoring games today? Tiberius Cornelius?
Yeah, sorry. Let me just consider that for a moment.
Sure. Yep.
So Manlius will be doing the population phase, won't he?
At this point in time, yes, he will be.
So...
Decisions, eh?
Would anybody with money like to help me fund some games?
I don't think we can at this stage.
Sorry, but
Right, okay.
everyone
Yeah,
who
no,
has
it's
money
too late.
donated.
I got no money to my name.
No, that's fine.
How much
I'll
extra
go-
did you need?
I don't think we can transfer money now anyway, can we?
Correct. It's too late for that.
Right.
All right, no worries.
You have enough money, probably.
I'll do a blood fest.
All right. And what's the cost of a bloodfest?
13.
13. Yes, and that will give you 2 popularity, 2, and -2 to the unrest level. All right. So 13 talents is going to come out of Manlius's personal treasury there and off to the bank, and he'll bring himself back a number 2 to give himself 2 popularity for that. And if somebody on his behalf wants to reduce the unrest level by 2, please. That's a good direction for the unrest level to go. So it'll go from, 6 down to 4. Right. Sorry, is somebody looking after unrest level? Who's doing that?
Quintus, can you do that, please?
Good delegation. Okay, will you be looking to change your faction leader today there, Tiberius Cornelius?
Yeah, I might give the new guy a go. I might pop it on to Cassius.
Cool, okay. All right, and that will conclude your turn. And let's go across now to Justia Marita faction, moving in clockwise direction. Let's start with a 2d6 from you, Marcus Decimus.
6.
A 6, that's a card for you. So I'm going to bring up the deck. You know the deal. Don't click on it, but you'll know to draw. Put a 1 in the box. Go ahead, over. All right, you've got it. All right, is it red text or black text?
It is red text.
Good, you'll keep that private. Okay, any persuasion attempts from you today?
At this stage, no.
Okay, roll for a night or pressure multiple nights.
I shall roll for a night.
All right, who's doing that today?
Cornelius will do it, and that will just be naked roll.
Naked roll, get yourself a 6, and that's an unlucky one. Any sponsoring of games today?
Negative.
All right, and any change of faction leader?
No.
All right, let's Now go up to Pre-Byzantium. Pre-Byzantium, a 2d6 from you, please, when you are ready. He will roll. He will get a 5. That means a card. Normal deal. Don't click on the deck. The deck is now revealed. Go ahead and grab yourself a card. You've got it. All right. Is that red text or black text?
That is a red text card.
Perfect. You'll keep that secret to yourself for the time being. Now, would you like to make a persuasion attempt today?
No.
All right. Roll for a night or pressure multiple nights.
Yes, I'll roll for a night with no money.
Okay. Go ahead and roll and get yourself a 6 if you can. Unlucky, so no nights there. Any sponsoring of games today?
No.
And you can't change your faction leader for the moment. That's unlucky. So that'll include your initiative. Let's go across to the Erudite faction. 2d6 from you, Mark Wedia, when you're ready.
Why didn't Numerus Aurelius or Marcus Decimus try to influence?
Probably because they determined they didn't have enough influence from their senator.
Yes, so the cards have money and influence and such, and I have no talents and no influence. So
all right,
it would impossible.
Mark Wedia has rolled a 7. That means an event, folks. So I'm going to scroll my view down to the events table. Let's see. Random events table. Here it is. So I'm going to zoom in on that middle column there, and hopefully we get something favourable. So when you're ready, a 3d6 this time, please, to see what event we will get. The dice are rolling. It's a bit jittery on my screen. We're going to get a 14. Allied enthusiasm.
That's good news.
Good news. All right. I'm going to reveal the event deck, and we're going to see if we can pull that card out nice and quick. Who can remember what the symbol for Allied enthusiasm is on the card? Now, one of the things I should have done is got rid of the natural disaster card, cleared all our previous events off, which I didn't do, so I can pull the manpower shortage off. That no longer applies.
This is the
I can
money,
visualize
not
the
mistaken.
card.
Yeah.
You can visualize it?
I can visualize it. I don't know if I could say it if I saw it or not.
All right, let's pull up the event deck while I do that now. Event cards. All right, choose Allied Enthusiasm. Let's see if we can find it. All right, so if you guys want to jump into the open deck as well, you can have a look for it. Sempronius Agricola coming in with another 100 bits. Gratis to Biago. Let's see. I found the Extreme Allied Enthusiasm, so it's a picture of Italy, I think.
Not that one. Oh, that's the wrong one.
There is the other one. I'll also check the discard. Oh, there it is. Found it. Stand down, everyone. I got it. And this is the... I'll bring this up for everybody's screen. So let me bring this up now. So the state will receive 50 talents in the revenue phase.
Hooray.
So assuming...
That was a good one.
Well, assuming
A little
you get
late
there.
though,
So
right?
assuming you defeat the
Yeah.
Second Punic
Yeah.
War. If you don't, you won't get to see that, probably. But you will. You will defeat the Second Punic War in this turn coming up. And
Fingers
then,
crossed.
as a bonus, you'll get 50 talents for that as well. Okay, so let's finish off Marco Wedia's initiative now. Would you like to make a persuasion attempt today, Marco Wedia?
Yes.
And who will be doing the persuading today from your faction?
Julius.
Julius will be doing that. And who would you like to persuade?
Terentius.
Terentius. Let's have a look at Terentius. All right, so Terentius is in the middle there. So let's run some numbers. So flicking over a cheat sheet out the back. First of all, what is the influence of Julius?
19.
19. And what is his oratory?
3, I think.
Let's just double check. I'll just scroll up and have a squeeze. Yes, it is 3. Yeah. 19, 20, 21, 22. So we're currently looking at 22 there. Now, what is the loyalty of Terentius? It's 6. And how much money does he have on his card right now?
13.
Sorry, how much?
13.
13. 14, 15, 16. So we've currently got a base number of 3 right now. Base number of 3 with all that taken into consideration. So we now ask Marco Wedia, but specifically Julius, would Julius like to bribe to make this a little bit better? So
Yes,
I guess an
please.
ideal amount would be 6 to bring it to the base number 9.
Yes, let's do that. 6,
All right.
please.
So go ahead and add 6 talents onto Terentius's card from Julius's personal treasury. And that will give you a base number of 9, and then we'll go around the room while you're sorting that out. House of Incognita, any counter bribes?
No.
All right, down to Fortuna's Despair, any counter bribes?
No.
Justia Marita, any counter bribes?
Yes, 5 talents.
5 talents from the faction treasury. So please place that on Terentius's card. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We go back down to a base number of 4. Let's finish off the counter bribing. Pre-Byzantium, any counter bribes from you?
No.
No, I think I heard there. Is that correct? No? Yep, cool. All right, so let's go back to Marcowedia. Would you like to put any more bribes back to Terentius to increase your base number from 4?
Yes.
And how much coming from Julius would you like to put in?
I don't know. What was it? What was the ideal number?
To bring it back to
8?
9, you'd need to put in 5 talents.
Yeah, I'm going to put in 5 talents. That's fine. Yeah.
All right, so please place that on Terentius's card. You've got
Okay,
5 talents
yep.
there?
Yep. Sorry, accidentally put one of them back into the state treasury instead of onto Terentius's card.
Oh, okay, yep. All
Sorry,
right,
it was
so,
just force of habit. Sorry.
all right, yeah, that's okay. Please place those on Terentius's card. And
Copernicus.
There we go. I'll do it.
did your 5 talents, Marcus Decimus, make it onto Terentius's card as well?
It has.
Good, thank you. All right, just make sure all the money gets there. So we're going to see
There you go. Big $10 there, and I
further
need another
5 talents
$1.
go back. So we're back up to a base number of 9 again. So let's go around the room
Yep.
again. House of Incognita, any counter bribes from your faction treasury?
Still broke.
Still broke. Down to Fortuna's Despair, any counter bribes?
None.
None. Justin Marita, any further counter bribes from you from your faction treasury?
Another 5.
Another 5. Please place that onto Terentius's card. We're going to go back down to a base number of 4. Back up to Pre-Byzantium. Any counter bribes from you?
He's broke as well.
He's broke as well. All right, so back to Marcowedia. Does Julius have any money left? We're back to about
Yep,
base number
1,
of
2.
4.
I've got 4.
You got 4.
$4 left. Yes.
Would you like to put them on the card?
Yep. Let's pop it on my card. There we go.
All right, so that'll bring us back up to a base number of 8. That's down onto Trench's card. Round the room again. House of Incognita. Any changes to your brokenness? No.
Still there.
Still there. Fortuna's Despair?
No.
No. This is great. Justia Marita. Any further counter bribes from you?
No more.
Good. All right. You've made it work for it. I can see 3 random talents in the active forces box. Who belongs to those?
I mean, I'll take them.
If not,
I'll
somebody wants
just
to
chuck
put them in the
them on
bank for me.
gambling.
Pre-Byzantium, assume there's no changes from you.
No.
All right. So we now have a whole buttload of money on Terentius, but we do have a base number of 8, which isn't too bad. Lots of bribes coming from Julius here. So over to Marcowedia. You need to roll a 2d6 and get an 8 or less.
Okay.
Yeah. You
7.
did it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All
What
I'm
a
hearing
battle
and
that
all I'm
was.
seeing
Allow
is
me to
that
drag
she
the
can
card
donate.
over for you. I'll do that for you.
Thanks for the 10 talents, Marcus.
And yeah, that was phenomenal. I'm just getting the
Would you like
positioning
me to
here.
give them to you next round?
Only
Numerius
if,
Aurelius.
oh,
I know he was congratulating me. I was, he was saying thank you for the 10 talents. So I said, oh, does he want them next round? I'll have extra.
I mean, you could always just donate them back to the state and you can get influence off it.
True. All right, so Terentius is now in your faction, so you'll be able to update your faction votes and faction influence. But let's finish your initiative for now. So first of all, would you like to attract a knight or pressure multiple knights?
Yes,
Who will be doing that today?
Terentius, and he's going to
Yeah,
put.
seems reasonable. And
talents.
any money to the cause?
Yeah. What's the guaranteed one? Is it
5
5?
talents.
Okay, yeah, I'm putting 5. Yeah,
Great.
there we go.
Throw that 5 talents in the bank and bring yourself back a number 1 knight token, so Terentius will be able to get a knight. Anybody sponsoring games today?
Oh yeah, Terentius. Shouldn't Terentius sponsor some games?
Yeah, seems
I reckon,
reasonable
yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
How much would you like to spend?
What's the most expensive?
The most expensive is 18 talents.
Throwing money around.
Popularity and 3 unrest level reduction.
Oh, yeah, well,
Term that 8 doesn't even come out of your own pocket.
I don't know. Doesn't even feel like anything at the moment.
I mean, if anything, we should just go back to the start of the revenue phase and just start donating again.
Oh no, but then it leaves me with very little for the other thing. What's the one down from the 18?
13 talents will give you 2 popularity and -2 unrest.
Yeah, because what's the unrest at the moment?
4.
Oh, okay. No, let's just do the big one.
All right.
There we go.
So bring it. Grab 18 talents there.
Yeah.
And perhaps Numerous Aurelius, if you'd like to bring a number 3 token for popularity across for Terentius, that would be very helpful. And perhaps Marcus Decumus, if you'd like to reduce the state unrest level by 3, please.
Yep.
Massive set of games there put on by Terentius, celebrating his new faction alignment.
I got it, Marcus. It's all good.
All right, so the state unrest level is now down to 1, which is good. Terentius is now getting 3 popularity, being a popular senator in his new faction. And 18 talents comes out of his personal treasury and heads off to the bank. Very good. Any faction leader change from you today, Marco Wedia?
No, not at the moment. Thank you.
All right, that's your initiative done. Let's go across the House of Incognito and let's do your initiative. 2d6 when you're ready, good sir. You roll a 6, you're going to get a card. Normal deal, try not to click on the deck. Deck is now revealed. Over to you. All right, you've got it. All right, is that red text or black text?
So this is where I leave the session, guys. You know,
not a favourable card then. Drop that in the sandpit at
see
your
you guys
leisure.
next session.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, indeed. Third Punic
What is
War.
it?
Third Punic War.
But because we've already got a war out there at the moment, that's going to become an imminent war. So you won't have to face it this first turn. So you can still fight the second Punic War on its own terms before that comes into play. But again, if you're still facing the second Punic War after this combat phase, and it's all over Red Rover. But nonetheless, that third Punic War is pretty easy if you defeat that second Punic War.
But if we defeat the second Punic War, doesn't Hannibal get refuge and come back out with the third Punic War?
The refuge card's already used.
Philip fought the 5th. The Macedonian.
Right.
But yeah,
that is correct.
We'll only have 1 turn to kill him in the Curia, I believe. Or maybe even no turn. He might just go instantly to the Punic.
Right. Okay, let's finish off the House of Incognito's turn. Any persuasion attempt from you today?
No.
Nope. Any knights or pressuring multiple knights? I'm looking at Flaminius, really.
Amelius would like to roll for it.
I believe he's still away from Rome, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, he is too.
Yep, so Flaminius is your only option.
I suppose he can too.
All right, that'll be a 1d6 and hoping for a good roll there. Ooh, close but no cigar. Any sponsoring of games from you?
Still broker over here.
Okay, and any faction leader change?
Not a chance.
All right, now we are now going to have to work out who gets to play around with the 6th initiative. It is essentially a series of betting. We start with the highest ranking available of the field console, and they can make any bets of 0 or more, noting that if nobody bets on the initiative, then it will in fact go to Fortuna's Despair as the HRAO for them to take a whole nother set of initiative, including persuasions and knights and sponsoring of games and changing of faction leaders. You get a whole nother opportunity to do that again, including potentially even drawing a card. So that's what's at stake. Noting that your total bids has to come from a single personal treasury of 1 senator. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind. Sorry, is there a question coming from House of Incognito?
By a whole nother initiative, you just mean take a whole nother turn like we just did,
Correct.
And that goes to ourselves.
Correct. So you'll get to do another persuasion attempt, another night
Shame
roll,
of broke.
another sponsoring of games, draw of a card, etc. So let's go to Tiberius Cornelius. Would you like to bid on this initiative at all?
If I get outbid, can I bid again?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll bid 1 from Claudius.
All right, please place that in the sandpit. I will keep a running tally going there, so place that somewhere obvious in the sandpit for us to see.
I just need to get some change.
Yep, that's fine. While you're doing that, let's go across to Justia Marita. Would you like to be bidding on this initiative?
No.
All right. Up to Pre-Byzantium, bidding on this initiative? Probably not.
Nope.
All right. Erudite, would you like to bid on this initiative? You need to bid 2 or more talents.
Oh. It's just to get the extra night roll, though? Or do you get an extra
card? Another turn. So an opportunity for a card, a persuasion attempt, a knight, sponsoring a games, and faction leader.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely bid on that. Yeah.
All right. How much would you like to bid?
Is it? Do I only get one chance to bid or counter bid?
No, you'll be able to bid again.
Okay, well, yep, I raise the thing too. Yep.
All right, so if you would put that in the sandpit with the other talent that you see there.
Yep.
If you lose, do you get your money back?
No, your money is lost. So whatever money you bid goes off to the bank. So back to Tiberius Cornelius, which I think is a House of Incognita has no money. So yes, back to Fortuna's Despair. So we're currently sitting at a pool of 3 talents. So you need to bid. Well, the current total bid is 2. So you need to bid 3 or more talents to take this initiative.
No, I'll let it go.
And let it go. All right. So in that case, then the final 6 initiative is going to go to Marquetti of the Erudite faction. So I'll take those 3 talents and bank them. Those in the gamekeeper's amount, and then we go back to Erudite. So you are now going to do another initiative. So I'm going to bring up the deck. Hopefully you'll be able to draw a card this time. So usual show,
great.
I'll reveal the deck. Try not to click on it, hover, put in the number 1 in the box, etc. There it is. Go ahead at your leisure.
At the end of this, are we going to be finishing up for the night?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I'm just very sleepy.
Yep, it's been a long session.
Yeah.
Good, you've got the card. Is that red text or black text?
Red text.
All right, you'll keep that private to yourself. Now, question to you, would you like to make it a persuasion attempt?
Oh, no, not today.
Oh, okay. Any rolling of knights or pressuring of multiple knights?
Yes, please.
Who would like to do that?
Terentius.
I noticed you didn't get Terentius's first knight.
Oh, yep, I forgot.
All right, we'll get that probably in a minute. Would you like to put any money to the cause?
Yep, let's put 5 talents towards
All right,
it.
so that's an automatic. Go ahead and bank that additional 5 talents. We'll bring back a number 2 knight token now.
Great, I'll do that.
Noting the first one as well. So Terentius will now have 2 knights to his record.
Great.
Any sponsoring of games today?
Not today.
All right, and any faction leader change?
No. Do I need to roll for death for if they are a number 6?
That's so that was
On
in
the
the
next
mortality
turn?
phase. Are you suggesting that we missed Alias?
No. I'm saying a next turn. Am I going to have
Yes.
to roll?
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to change my faction leader to Julius then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right,
Yeah.
and that will conclude that 6th initiative. There we go.
Thank you.
So now let's put Rome in order. All senators holding a major office now to get a major marker. So if you're holding a purple, big, fat purple office token, there aren't many of yous. So that will be...
That includes proconsul, correct?
That will include proconsul. So proconsul will need a major marker, and the field consul will need a major marker, and the Pontifex Maximus will need a major marker.
And Master of Horse does as well.
And Master of Horse will need one too. That is correct. So really the only people taking tokens are Fortuna's Despair and the House of Incognita. Everyone else can relax for a moment.
The censor will be taking one.
Sorry, Censor will also be taking one, but hopefully he can vote himself back in as Censor, and that becomes a moot point, right? Thank you for that, Marcus Decimus. I missed that he was Censor. Good, I can see the field consul's got his token. We'll just wait for the Pontifex Maximus Achilles to get his corruption marker as well. Proconsul's got his. Master of Horse has got his. Censor's got his. Tiberius Cornelius, make sure Achilles gets his corruption for Pontifex Maximus.
Sorry.
Cool.
Is that a major?
Yeah, that's the red major token. That's correct. Now, Second Punic War, Gladio Slave Revolts. We need to do some tax farmer destructions. Let's do those. So, again, to the field consul and Manlius under Fortuna's Despair. if you'd like to roll a 1d6, please, and let's see if there's any farm concessions that are destroyed. First one is a 4. Anybody got tax farmer 4? Let's have a look. Might already be destroyed. We've lost a lot of farms.
I'm pretty sure it's been destroyed.
Tax farmer, yeah, it already has. Okay, another 1d6 for the enemy leader. Please, when you're ready, Fortuna's Despair. Tax farmer 1 is already destroyed, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it is. So no additional farm destruction. That's good. Now let's see now about trying to kill off some enemy leaders and revive senators. So starting with the leaders, we've got this Spanish enemy leader up there who's giving a +5 strength to eventual war. So a 5 or 6 to see him die. So roll a 1d6 when you're ready there, Tiberius. Unlucky, he will survive. Now, let's start doing senators. Let's start with Calpurnius. 5 or a 6, please. That will be a 2. Unlucky. Let's do Furious. A 5 or a 6, please. Yeah.
That'll do.
Furious comes out. Pop him out there. Okay, let's do Fabius. A 5 or a 6, please. Good. Fabius is out. Let's do Valerius. Been in there forever. 5 or a 6, please. Unlucky. Valerius will stay for the time being. And finally, Papirius. Let's do a 5 or a 6. 3. Unlucky. So those senators will stay for now. All right. Now let's do tax farmers. Let's start with tax farmer 5 because it's on top. 5 or a 6, please.
There we go.
Yes, tax farmer 5 comes out. Let's talk about tax farmer 1. 5 or a 6.
Nope.
Unlucky there. Let's do armaments. 5 or a 6.
Nope.
Unlucky. Tax farmer 4. 5 or a 6.
Nope.
Unlucky there. I think that's everything. All right. I'll put those back in the pile for the time being. Okay. And now every faction needs to update their faction votes and faction influence, please. So just do a double check. So your votes are oratory plus knights, and your influence is your seat for each of your senators. Go ahead and update those, and that will now conclude our session for this evening. A big session that's really put us in a tight spot for our next session.
Just a question.
Yeah, quite interesting. Any final remarks from the field console before we finish our session today?
Well, we stand on the precipice, and how our fortunes flow next week decides all our fates.
Indeed. Fingers crossed for you all. I wouldn't want to have to finish on the unlucky 13th session.
So,
Odds are strong.
Odds are strong. All right, if I could say, I'll say goodbye to all my senators in the background. Those in chat, hang around. I'm going to do my usual post-session debrief. But for now, all my senators say a walete to those in chat and on YouTube.
Walete.
Walete.
All right, don't go away. I'll be back very shortly for our end-of-session review. Okay, we are back live for our end-of-session debrief. The 12th session. We've been going for 12 sessions now. It's amazing. And normally about 3.5 hours a pop. We've been playing for some time now, a couple of months. We've had a few breaks over the weeks here and there, but 12 long sessions now into the middle republic of the game. There are 3 with a bonus 4th error if you get there. Assuming we can get there with this group, we're on a pretty dangerous precipice. Let's get that pronunciation right. That Second Punic War has been a thorn in our side for a while now. The problem at the moment is we're using the Avalon Hill's Aging War or War Exhaustion rule, and what that does is puts a limit on the amount of time a war card can be sitting out there, essentially not being attacked. Now, in the Valley Games edition, a war can really be out there forever, provided that you're defeating other wars and you're not exceeding that 4 or more total war total at the end of a combat phase, you can essentially keep a war going on forever in the Valley Games edition. So that's kind of why I like the war exhaustion rule from the Avalon Hills edition. But it does add that level of complexity, right? Because it now means you're pressured to fight certain wars because they're getting older or causing more problems or damage to the state. And that is certainly what's happening with the Second Punic War. So they've faced, I think, 2 disasters and a standoff against this war. I think they've had a bit of a tough run. It's got Hannibal, so that makes it pretty strong. And what makes matters worse, I guess, is that Third Punic War's been drawn. Now, having said that, they may not even get to see that Third Punic War come out because they might suffer another defeat against this Second Punic War. But my fingers are certainly crossed. We'll make the sacrifices to the gods so that they will achieve the military victory that they need in the Second Punic War so they can keep playing. But right, we're in the next session next week. It will be the unlucky 13th session. For those who are superstitious about numbers, the 13th session is about to occur. Who knows? Was the number 13 unlucky for Romans? I don't think it was. I think the unluckiness of 13 came a little bit later in history. The Romans certainly did have an unlucky number or unlucky numbers, but I don't think 13 was one of them. I can see Praetor Aurelius Ingeniarius has joined us in chat as well. Salve to you, Praetor. He's popped into chat as well. Unknown Star, says we're close to 50 hours of stream playtime. That's amazing to see that we've seen so many hours dedicated to this game. So Artorius Perconicus says the unlucky number 13 came about in the Middle Ages as it was a holy number for the goddess Freya. Oh, interesting. There you go. But who knows whether that will be a lucky or unlucky number for our players next session. So definitely be sure to drop in next week, same time, 10:30 a.m. Rome time or 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Monday at this very time slot. We'll probably get to watch, maybe not the last, but could be the 13th session for our Senators. We'll see that epic war against the Second Punic War yet again with another large force and maybe another dictator and master of horse. But right, if they fail, it means we get to the end of that combat phase and they will have reached a war with war exhaustion limit at that 6 or more turns, which will be an unlucky finish. But I guess all the good things have to come to an end. But let's not think negative thoughts. Let's get those out of our head because they will succeed. They'll do really well. We are Rome after all. That's been fantastic. Look, thanks very much to those that have subscribed and donated and cheered today. So the likes of Unknown Star with his Prime sub, Click Gang with their Prime sub as well, and of course Sempronius Agricola with not only all of his bit cheers but all of his wealth of tier 1 gifted subs today. So fantastic from all of those individuals who've continued to donate to the Nova Roma channel. Gratis tibiago to all of you. It's very much appreciated. Continuing to foster and grow Roman education and scholarships and learning opportunities right across the world and globally. Absolutely fantastic. Well, I have been your host. I am Decimus Aurelius Ingeniarius, Legatus Pro Praetoria Australia et Tribunus Plebis. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you again this evening, and I look forward to seeing you again next week for our 13th session of the Republic of Rome board game broadcast. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, Walete.